Coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is a progress. Working together is a success. It was indeed the mantra of working together that has brought us where we are today. A very pleasant and elegant morning to the respected Chief Guest, Professor M.D. Karvekar, Sir, Director of Academics, Krupanidhi College of Pharmacy, Bangalore. Guest of Honor, Professor B. Jaikar, Sir, EC Member, PCI, Registrar, Vinayaka Missions, Research Foundation, Salem. Guest of Honor, Professor A. Suresh Babu, Sir, Controller of Examinations, JNTU-A, Anantapuram. Beloved Secretary, Sir, Sri C. Gengareddy Garu. Principal, Dr. D. Swarnalata, Ma'am. Program Coordinator, Dr. P. Dwarkanath Reddy, Sir. Galaxy of Intellectuals, my dear delegates and my fellow colleagues. Myself, Dr. Deepa, Professor, Department of Pharmaceutical Chemistry, Annamacharya College of Pharmacy. It's my pleasure and distinct honor to welcome you all to the inauguration of Phase 3 of 6 days AICTE-sponsored STTP on the theme Applications of QBD and Other Computational Tools in Pharmaceutical Product Development, Current Trends and Future Perspectives, organized by Department of Pharmaceutics, Annamacharya College of Pharmacy. We appreciate all the guests and delegates taking time of your busy schedules to join us today. We are incredibly pleased to be able to welcome all of you. So I take this opportunity to welcome the keynote speaker, Professor Bhupendra Singh Bhup, Sir, University of Pharmacy Sciences and Head, Punjab University, Chandigarh, and speaker of today's session, Dr. Ranjit Rashikar, Sir, CEO, QBD of International, Mumbai. Professor L.D. Patel, Sir, ex-principal and Professor LM College of Pharmacy, Ahmedabad. It is a mark of undying tradition to invoke the Almighty at the beginning of the event. The function of prayer is not to influence the God, but rather to change the nature of the one who prays. A ray of light is a ray of hope. Let us all leave the darkness and step towards the brighter path. Now we'll have our traditional auspicious lamp lighting ceremony as a tribute to Goddess Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge. I request all the dignitaries of the dais to symbolically inaugurate this program. I request the program coordinator, organizer, Mr. Y. Pradeep Kumar, Sir, to prayer song. Y. Pradeep Kumar, Sir, can you display the screen?
ఎందుకంటే నేను ఇన్వాల్వ్ అవ్వాలా వీళ్ళు పంపించుతారు కాబట్టి
Y. Pradeep, sir, can you share the screen of lamp lightning?
Sir, 1 second, madam. Yeah, madam. 1 second, madam. 1 second, madam.
Oh,
1 second.
Okay.
One second. వస్తుంది ప్లే అవుతుంది కదా సార్
इंद्राय श्री गणेशाय धीमहि
డిస్ప్లే అవుతుంది సార్. డిస్ప్లే అవుతుంది సార్. డిస్ప్లే అవుతుంది సార్.
Thank you.
అంతనే ఉంది డిస్ప్లే సార్. ప్లే ఆపేస్తున్నా, అది కాకనే ఉంది ఇది. దీపా మేడం, ఓవర్ టు దీపా మేడం.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you, sir.
ప్లే అవుతుంది.
I'm pleased to announce that
అంతనే ఉంది డిస్ప్లే.
I'm pleased to announce that our educational excellence has been in limelight since its origin and has joined the race of speedy progress with its outstanding legacy. To begin this program, we are pleased to have Dr. P. Dwarkanath Reddy, sir, HOD and Department of Pharmaceutics, Program Coordinator for today's STTP, to deliver the opening remarks. Over to you, Dwarkanath Reddy, sir.
Thank you, Deepa. Good morning to all. Good morning to all. Professor and Head of the Department, Pharmaceutics, Annamacharya College of Pharmacy. Hearty welcome to all. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can be used to change the world. Hearty welcome to our great educationalist, outstanding contribution towards the education,
STTP
great
today,
humanistic and great personality,
yes, sir.
and founder of Annamacharya Education Trust and Rayalaseema Ratna awardee. Good morning to Reddy Garu. Hearty welcome to our great pharma legendaries and today invited guests, Annamacharya College of Pharmacy, Jaikar Garu. Hearty welcome to all. Education is the most powerful weapon, Pharmacy Council of India, which you can be used to change the world. Salem. Hearty welcome to our great educationalist, outstanding contribution towards the education,
STTP
great
today,
humanistic and great personality,
yes, sir.
and founder of Annamacharya Education Trust, Bangalore, Rayalaseema Ratna awardee, personality, Reddy Garu. And hearty welcome to examination our great pharma legendaries and today invited guests, Annamacharya College of Examination. And hearty welcome to our eminent. Education is the most father of quality by design in India of India, which you can more than 10,000 citations in the world. Salem. Hearty welcome to our great educationalist, professor and contribution towards the education, who are working as eminent personality in University Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences and coordinator, National UGC Excellence Center, Nano Biomedicine, Punjab University, Chandigarh. And Dr. L.D. Patel Garu, ex-principal and professor of today invited guest, College of Examination.
Dwaraknath Reddy, unmute yourself. You are muted. Dwaraknath Reddy.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, now audible, sir.
Yes.
Good morning to all. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can be changed to the world. Hearty welcome to our great educationalist and outstanding contribution towards the education, great humanistic and great personality, and founder of Annamachar Education Trust and Rayalaseema Ratna Awardee, Sri C. Gangireddy Garu. Hearty welcome to our pharma legendaries and great personalities in pharmacy profession. And today invited guests, Professor B. Jaikar Garu, Executive Council Member of Pharmacy Council of India and Register of Vinaya Mission, Salem, and Professor M.D. Karvekar Garu, former member of PCI and Register and Director of Krupanidhi College of Pharmacy, Bangalore, optimistic personality and who behind smooth and effective functioning of examination branch at JNT Anantapur, Professor Suresh Babu Garu, Control of Examination, JNT University, and hearty welcome to today eminent speaker and father of quality by design in India, who are having more than 10,000 citations of research articles, Professor Bhupendra Singh Bhup Garu, University Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Coordinator, National UGC Excellence Center, Nano Biomedicine, Punjab University, Chandigarh, and Dr. L.D. Patel Garu, ex-principal and Professor of LM College of Pharmacy, Ahmedabad, Professor Ranjit Barshikar, CEO, Quality by Design International and United Nations Advisor, Geneva. And dear delegates and my dear faculty members, good morning to all. On the behalf of Annamacharya College of Pharmacy, it's my great pleasure to form me all of welcome to here for this ASCT sponsored short-term training program through online mode, which is scheduled from 16th to 21st of this month, August, on the theme of QBD applications and other computational tools for pharmaceutical product development, present and future perspectives, which is organized by Department of Pharmaceutics, Annamacharya Institute of Pharmacy, which is accredited by NAC A grade and NBA, Rajampeta. I would by such a huge privilege to have all of you with us on this wonderful occasion of today. I feel delighted to organize this ASCT STTP on the QBD. The QBD is also a systemic method of process development which delivers consistency, robustness, and increase the process knowledge. The federal agencies have retained to build a quality into the products during the multi-phase product development life cycle and eventually enhance the product development and to understanding and all the using of rational and systematic QBD. Quality by design, QBD is never an accident. It is always the results of intelligent efforts. This 6 days event of the aim of this program to ensure and to endure the opportunity to the delegates for to understand the recent advances in the quality by design and who are privileged to have attended the distinguished expert and delegates. The speakers of this program are uniquely placed to highlight the key theme and trends in current knowledge and practices for the audience. I am fully confident on this program that this program will be helpful for the to strengthening of the participants pharmacy program, pharmacy profession. And I am thankful to the STTP speakers who accepted our invitation for deliver their topics for with advancement of the knowledge and current trends. Let's now closing off wishing you all the best and delighted and stimulating the week within the full support and myself, my colleagues for this. I am special thanks to our secretary, Sri C. Gangireddy Garu, who are encouraging for staff members and our who are behind of myself and to running this organization successfully for. I wish you all the best for all the participants who are attending for this program. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, Professor Gangireddy, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Dwaraknath Reddy, sir. I would like to invite our beloved principal, Dr. T. Swarnalatha ma'am. Her unwavering nature is beyond description. It's my privilege to welcome her to the event. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Deepa. Good and pleasant foremost morning to all the guests, speakers, participants, organizers, staff members. It's a natural pleasure for me to be a part in today's Phase 3 STTP program. Passionate welcome to all once again. I am T. Swarnalatha, took initiative to message a few content concerns to STTP Phase 3 on the platform of ANCP to introduce speakers designated as professors, principals, investigators in research team, chiefs and primes in various research and review organizations from colleges and industries, and scheduled listeners for good association to heap the piles of knowledge in the advancement of education system and its implementation day to day from various sources by nature worthy speakers. And the main motto of our ANCP is to create rural development and to release best out students in the beautiful and bountiful pharma career, and create regular awareness camps in schools, villages, around colleges on various scientific and environmental programs. The concrete of this program makes all the deliverers and learners under one umbrella to flow the knowledge. So, welcome to the today's Chief Patron, Sri Engireddy Garu, Founder and Secretary of Annamachari Educational Trust, and a warm welcome to the today's Chief Guest, Professor M.D. Karvekar Garu, Director of Academics, Krupanidhi College of
నాకు ఒకసారి ఇన్ఫార్మ్ చేశారు.
and warm welcome to the guest of honor, Professor B. Jaikar, EC member, PCI, Registrar, Vinayaka Missions, Research Foundation, Salem. And warm welcome to the guest of honor, Professor A. Suresh, Controller of Examinations, JNTUA, Anantapuram. And warm welcome to the Professor Bhupendra Singh Bhoop, University Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, and Coordinator, NAT, UGC Excellence Center, Nano Biomedicine, Punjab University, India. And warm welcome to the Professor L.D. Patel, Principal and Professor LM College of Pharmacy, Ahmedabad, India. And Dr. Ranjit Barishkar, Navi, CEO, QBD International and United Nations Advisor, Geneva. And we have been planning various events through online mode. Among them, these webinars, significant today events, extra we are conducting for the benefit of the students. The ANCP scientific team came forward with a novel title, Application of QBD and Other Computational Tools in Pharmaceutical Product Development, Current Trends and Future Prospects, to organize the program. A lecturer gives inspiration to his student with proper path. The student takes right good path in his career. His career cultivates a good novel country. The novel country is the vision of the world done by student and made by his teacher. The greatness of student and the lecturer relation makes new world. I do hope that the ANCP Pharma family will brightly succeed as a good event and greets to next event with future planning. My prime gratitude is to thank the imperious management and organizing team, and I thank all with a great respect. Thank you, Hope, the best learning event, and a warm welcome to all the participants. Thank you for giving this opportunity, and over to Deepa.
Thank you, ma'am. Our secretary, sir, the backbone of this institution, Sri Engireddy Garu, is also with us today. He is a constant, perseverant, visionary person who conceptualized this college. His efforts need no introduction. The results speaks for itself. It's my honor to welcome sir to this event. I welcome you, sir.
Good morning to you all.
Good morning.
Good morning to our chief guest, Professor M.D. Karvekar, Director, Academics, Krupanidhi College of Pharmacy, Bangalore. Guest of honor, Professor B. Jaikar, EC member, Pharmacy Council of India, Registrar, Vinayaka Missions, Research Foundation, Salem. Guest of honor, Professor A. Suresh Babu, Controller of Examination, JNTUA, Anantapuram. Professor Bhupendra Singh Bhoop, University Institute of Pharmacy and Coordinator, NAC UGC Excellence Center, Nano Biomedicine, Punjab University, India. Professor L.D. Patel, ex-principal, and Professor LM College of Pharmacy, Ahmedabad, India. Dr. Ranjit Barishkar, Navy, CEO, QBD International and United Nations Advisor, Geneva. And other alarming speakers and professors participants of this week program. Chairperson Dr. D. Swarnalatha, Principal, Annamacharya College of Pharmacy. Program Coordinator Dr. P. Dwarkanath Reddy, HOD, Department of Pharmaceutics. Coordinators and staff members and all participants, a good and warm welcome to all. This is the third phase, 6 days short-term training program in Annamacharya College of Pharmacy and was conducted through online platform. The theme of the program is application of QBD and other computational tools in pharmaceutical product development, current trends, and further perspective. We are proud to announce that this program was sponsored by All India Council for Technical Education, New Delhi. I faith this program will make you learn new skills to the speakers, listeners, and organizing team. Now, around 40 years took active lectures, sessions on all aspects associating the novel drug delivery system, softwares in pharmacy, analytical techniques, natural drug healing mechanics, and national education policy requirements and needs to student community. Till now, around 40 speakers took active lectures, sessions on all aspects associating the novel drug delivery system, softwares in pharmacy, analytical techniques, natural drug healing mechanism, and natural education policy requirements and needs to student community. The third phase program makes you all to expose again more than 20 highly esteemed personality lectures to learn subject and other transcending all the dimensions in communicative delivery aspects. A lecturer is a lifelong student to grow his student as a scientist. So teacher is a first student to himself every day. Thank you all for your support, suggestions, and association. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, sir. It's a distinct honor to introduce our chief guest, Professor M.D. Karvekar, sir, Director of Academics, Krupanidhi College of Pharmacy, Bangalore. Sir has done his graduation from Government College of Pharmacy, Bangalore, and post-graduation from LM College of Pharmacy, Ahmedabad. He served in various teaching positions as a lecturer, assistant professor, professor in Government College of Pharmacy, Bangalore. He holds the position as a Director of Academics, Krupanidhi College of Pharmacy, Bangalore from 2004 to till date. He currently serves as a EC member, PCI, New Delhi from 2004 to till date. He also had administrative experience and served as member secretary for Drugs Control Authority, Board of Examining Authority to regulate the pharmacy education in Karnataka and to conduct examinations for DPharm students from 1992 to 2004. The chairman of BPharm Regulations and Syllabus Committee, 2014, PCI, New Delhi. He has various publications in national international journals and has acquired several important recognitions to his research career, including Lifetime Achievement Award, All India Pharmacy Teachers Association, Karnataka State Branch 2003, Fellowship Award, Association of Biotechnology and Pharmacy in the year 2005, Sikshak Bhushan Award, Association of Padma Shri Awardees of Teachers of Goa in 2007, Fellowship Award by IPA, Pharma Vibhushan Award by Hyderabad, Karnataka Academic Control in 2017. He has involved in many international collaborations, visited many countries including UK, Singapore, USA, attended FIP at China in 2006, Glasgow, UK in 2018, invited by business management and consulting company to give a talk on pharmacy education regulation at China in 2019. He has various fellowships like life member of IPA, All India Pharmacy Teachers Association, Indian Association of Colleges Pharmacy, Chennai. With this brief note, I welcome Professor Karvekar, sir, who is such an inspiring personality and a role model for his commitment and hard working to scale the greater heights. We are fortunate to have you, sir, on this morning. Once again, extend a warm welcome to you. Hearty welcome, sir. Karvekar, sir. Over to you. So kindly unmute your mic, sir. You're not.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Sir, you are audible, sir. You are audible.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Very good morning to our friends and my Independence Day greetings to all of you. This Independence Day celebration, which was just held yesterday, is a very important Independence Day because 75th year of the Independence Day. On this very happy day, on the very next day, now we are having this webinar, and I hope that Independence Day spirit is there with all our teachers who are here. A very good morning. Professor B. Jaker, who is my good friend and the executive committee member of the Pharmacy Council of India, and also a registrar of Vinayaka Missions Research Foundations, University, Salem. Professor A. Suresh Babu, the controller of examinations, JNTU University, Anantapur, and the most respectable person, Sri C. Gangi Reddy sir, the founder and the secretary of the Annamachari Educational Trust, Rajampet. Professor D. Swarnalatha, the principal of this Annamachari College of Pharmacy. Dr. P. Dwarkanath Reddy, HOD Pharmaceutics, and who is the coordinator for this program. I think in this occasion, we have to congratulate Swarnalatha and Dwarkanath Reddy yesterday, who got an associate fellowship award by the government of Andhra Pradesh. I congratulations Dr. Dwarkanath and Mrs. Dwarkanath. The most important is the today's keynote speaker, our good friend, a very renowned professor and down-to-earth professor. People say that those who have a very high knowledge, they're always down to earth. Professor Bhupendra Singh Bhup, University Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, and coordinator, head, UGC Center, Nano Biomedicine, Punjab University, Chandigarh. We happen to be friends in many occasions. He was also a member in the syllabus committee of B.Pharm and M.Pharm in the PCI. We had a good acquaintance with him. I had a chance to go with him to China for again this QBD talk, which he gave there. It was a very excellent talk there, where more than 300 industrial people who gathered over there in China. Dr. Ranjit Barshikar, who is a very, very well-known person, not only in India and abroad, a QBD International of Mumbai, is advisor to the United Nations, Geneva, who has also awarded very recently the Quality Champion Gold Award by the Quality Council of India. Just we have PCI, there is a QCI, Quality Council of India. He got the award, and such an eminent person who is here today, who is going to speak today on QBD, and another very senior professor from Western region, who is also a former principal of LM College of Pharmacy, where I did my post-graduation. He is a very renowned person in the education field in Gujarat, and who is going to speak today on this topic, who is over here today. I have to really say the great work which is done by Dr. Dwarkanath, who has brought today these three great people here to talk on the QBD. And these three great people who are joining over here today for this QBD talk, which is like a Triveni Sangama, which is a very, very holy place. The three great joints in the pharmacy who have come over here today to talk on QBD. I'm extremely happy. I was really overwhelmed yesterday, and I could call Dr. Bhupendra Singh, and I could exchange certain ideas with him. Really, I'm very happy, sir, that I am meeting you today over here. Extremely happy. And today, they are going to speak on application of QBD and their computational tools in pharmaceutical product development, the current trends and the future perspective. The topic also which is chosen by this Annamachari College, the Department of Pharmaceutics, is a very, very important topic, which is, the industry wants this, every industry wants this QBD applications, and everybody wants to know the depth of this QBD, and such a topic chosen by this college. I really congratulate this college for choosing this QBD topic. And also you have brought such a people, just like the Olympic players today, which you have brought over here to speak on this QBD. I'm really very happy about choosing this topic. Friends, this QBD is a concept which is very important. This concept, it is not only to development of a drug or to manufacture of a drug which can be applied QBD. It can be applied anywhere, as in the last this STTP program, our President Pharmacy Council of India, Dr. B. Suresh, during the inaugural program, he was telling that this QBD can be applied to our education, how we can improve the education in India, what are the conditions which we can change and make the education the best one. He is the person who is really struggling very hard to take the pharmacy profession to the front. And he is working day and night to change the syllabus also. One of the chairman who is with us today, B. Jaika, for a B.Pharm syllabus, which are going to change now the syllabus. I am sure that he will take care that this QBD has to be included in the coming new syllabus for a B.Pharm and also for a M.Pharm also. who is here. So the President Pharmacy Council of India, really he has a good team to work on this education, and one among them is Jacob, and he has his own team in making the syllabus. The persons like Dr. Parvind, Dr. Bhoop Singh, and other very eminent professors in this. I'm sure that the new syllabus which is going to come for B Pharm, M Pharm will be a very, very excellent syllabus, and which is industry as well as clinical oriented syllabus. Of course, the new syllabus also for diploma, which is going to come this year, probably, is also a very good syllabus, and I'm not able to talk much about that, and Dr. Jaikar is here. He can able to throw some light on that for diploma new syllabus. Friends, this QBD, which is very, very important, unlike our earlier method, what we are using for making these tablets or injections or whatever it is. We're using a traditional method. We used to mix up the ingredients and then you process it and then you get the product, and that product, we used to analyze it. And if the analytical results are within those limits, we used to send it to the market. But today the trend has changed. They do not test the product directly. Instead, they build the quality into it by doing the different tests individually. They standardize the procedure, even maintaining the temperature, even maintaining the timing, everything is all standardized. And then the quality is built into this. And then the product, the what we get is, it is a good quality product. It is a very, very, active when we take it. Such a product, they are going to bring out by this QBD method. Now, the basic concept is the quality cannot be, the basic concept of the QBD is that the quality cannot be tested into the product, but it should be built into it. And this concept, which was first outlined by a scientist called Joseph M. Juran in 2002. If I remember that the Annamachari College of Pharmacy, which started in the 2003, is almost, during this period only. The QBD, when it born, at the same time, this Annamachari College has born. And I think that is why this QBD program, they are conducting now, which is really very, very relevant, you can say. Now, this Juran, he believed that the quality could be planned, and that the most quality crisis and the problems relate to the way in which the quality was planned in the first place. He says, whenever you want to make any product, the quality has to be built at every stage. And for that, planning is very, very necessary. To make any product, the first thing we have to think about the safety of the product. We have to also think about the quality of the product, and also we have to think about the efficacy of the product. While doing so, today in the QBD, we also think of manufacturing, failure cost, scale-up issue, and the regulatory burdens. We have to take this into an account, and then we have to apply this QBD, and we can make a better product. This is the reason that the pharmaceutical industry today has undergone a paradigm shift from traditional quality testing, that is QBT, to a very systematic quality by design, that is QBD. That is from QBT to QBD approach for attaining the efficient development of the cost-effective drug products with enhanced quality. So there is a shift from quality by testing to quality by design. The traditional testing very often, and the product is tested predominantly for the product quality and the product performance, with limited understanding product and process performers and the product quality. In the present situation, the industry is facing challenges regulating body to get desired product, and because of this reason, the regulatory body is focusing to implement the QBD. It improves the process understanding, reducing the process variation, and enabling process control and strengthens. So the QBD, instead of testing the end product by traditional method, it provides the improvement in the process throughout, so that we can improve each stage of the manufacture and improve the quality, and also we can find easily where we have gone wrong in making the quality product. QBD entered the pharmaceutical industry quite late in 2004, when US FDA took initiative for imparting the standards of the pharmaceutical manufacturing. The FDA's emphasis on QBD began with the recognition that increased testing does not necessarily improve the product quality. The quality must be built into the product. FDA also announced the proposed amendment to the current Good Manufacturing Practices, that is CGMP, in 2002, with an emphasis on establishing a 21st century outlook on pharma manufacturing. And the goal of this is to establish a more systematic and science and risk-based approach to the development of pharmaceutical product. On an initiative in July 2003, the International Conference on Harmonization, that is ICH, instituted various regulatory guidances like Q8, Q9, and Q10, and set forth the consent of the quality by design as a holistic approach which delivers high quality, robust products with QBD, the defect in the product will be a zero defect. So this is a very improvement in the QBD, which today the industry is following. If you see the differences between the traditional approach and today's the QBD, in the traditional approach, it starts with the trial and error methods. That is traditional method. Whereas in the QBD, it starts with predefined objectives. Only with the predefined objectives, the QBD it works and then it gives a good product. The quality is assured by testing, inspection in the traditional method. The quality is built in the product and process by design. This is the QBD. The rigid process discourage changes in the traditional, and in the QBD, the flexible process within a design space allowing continuous improvement. There are many differences in this traditional method and the QBD. And the approach is also useful. It has several benefits to the industry by QBD, better understanding of the process by QBD, minimize deviation, less batch failure, more effective and efficient control of the change. And there are some additional benefits also. Reduction of the post-approval submissions, more efficient technology transfer, innovative process validation approaches, quality risk assessment and management, reduced end product testing. These are the advantages, and there are applications also for this QBD. The drug substances development, analytical development, formulation development, pharmaceutical manufacturing, bioequivalence studies, clinical trials. Therefore, the QBD is very, very useful for the industry to get quality product. Of course, I am not going to speak more on that because you have really very good speakers today, and they will go all in detail, and they will make our teachers to understand better. And teachers are the persons who carry this message. I can say that the teachers of this region today who are attending this QBD webinar, they are really, blessed, you can say, because you got so good speakers. Because of this QBD implementation in India, now they see the pharmaceutical export from India. And by seeing the export, you can just see after implementation of out of which 665 industries are FDA approved industries in India. I think this is the number which is very, very big number, which is maybe the first in the world, you can say. So many big number in India, we have FDA approved industries in India. So all these are QBD followers. And because of these and other followers, and because of these and other, some of the important companies in India, if you see the history now, the export in 2006 and 7, India was exporting about 6.23 billion US dollars worth of drugs. 2008 and 9, we were exporting about 8.7 billion US dollars. So if you see 6 and 7 and this 8 and 9, there is a jump of about 2 billion US dollars. But if you go to 2014, our export was 11.7 billion US dollars. Again, it is further increased. 2015, it was 15.53. 2016, it was 16.4 billion US dollars. 2017, 17.87, and 2020, if you take, it is 20.7 billion US dollars. So 2015 onwards, if you see, there is a big increase in the export of the drugs. 2015 is 15.53 and 2020 is 20.7 billion US dollars. But if you look at back 2006 and 7, it was 6.23 billion US dollars. So there is a big jump in the recent years. And I feel this is because of this QBD implementation in the India shows a big jump in the export. In the similar way, if you think of about our government policy on the health, the per capita, if you look at in India, which the public is spending per capita on health is 239 rupees in India. But if we take the China, per capita is 761 rupees. It is about 3 times more than India. In China on the health, they spend. Similarly, in the Sri Lanka, if you take, it is 491 rupees. In the same way, the Philippines, it is 324 rupees. So the least, per capita is India, it is only 239. If you take the bigger countries like Russia, it is $893. Brazil, it is $947. So the Indian government on the health, they are spending in 2016, it was 23.68 billion US dollars the government of India was spending on this health. In 2017, it is increased to 37.07 billion US dollars. But if you take in 2020, the government of India is spending on 45.96 billion US dollars, which is a very, very high that way. Every year, the government is spending a lot of money on that. But if you consider the graphical way, the person has to spend on a health 30% from his pocket, and remaining 30% the government is going to spend, and 70% the individual person has to spend. That means still, the individual person has to spend more on the health. The government of India has to think on this and then increase this expenditure on this health so that we can have a still better health. Now, out of this, This money is spent on Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jana Aushadhi Pariyojana, that is PM BJP. Out of this 45.96, they are spending on this PM BJP. They are also spending on Pharma Vision 2020. They are also spending on national health policy. So with this, the health policy, whatever it is, the Indian pharmaceutical industry, which is worth about 50 billion US dollars, that is about 3.5 lakh crores of rupees, out of which we are utilizing domestically 1.4 lakhs worth of drugs domestically, and we are exporting about 1.3 lakhs crores worth of drugs for more than 200 countries. The production of the drug, volume-wise, if you take, India stands third in the world. And if you take a value-wise, we stand about 10th in the value. Of course, earlier we used to be 13th in the value, but now the export has increased, and now we stand, the money what we get, that has increased, and then we are having about 10th rank in the value wise. Friends, whatever it is, India is mainly now based on the China, a China which is exporting to India the APIs, especially 80% of the APIs the India is importing from China. That is, the import from China to India is around 74.2 billion US dollars worth India is importing from China. In other way, India is also exporting to China, and the cost is about $17.5 billion. If you take, you are importing of 74.2 and we are exporting to China 17.95. If you see the difference is 56.17 billion US dollars. We are still, we are spending more money on this. So such is the case here. And we have to train our the budding pharmacists, so that taking all this into account, our India should still make more export and get more money. And we are number 3rd in the world. After this this pandemic, some of the companies, I heard that they are still thinking to ship from China to India, and definitely the 3rd position what now India has in the world, definitely the position may go to 2nd, provided everything goes as per the norms. If you take the vaccines, the vaccine export is also a very good. 60% of the world's requirement, India is exporting the vaccine from India. India is number 1 in the world in the export of vaccines. No other country exports so much. So also the generic drugs. Generic drugs, about 40% of the generic drugs are exported to US. And as you know, the Sun Pharma is a master into the generic drugs. Sun Pharma is the 5th in the world in the production of these generic drugs. So with this, I don't want to go further detail. There are other speakers also. The is some time which is given to me to speak on this on the occasion of this webinar. I am very much thankful to the management of the Annamachari College of Pharmacy and also Dr. Dwarkanath, who called me a number of times and he requested me that, sir, you should please come here and speak some words and then educate our teachers. And I could talk something about this QBD. But I am sure that our friends are there and they are going to speak the inside of the QBD. And I am sure that our teachers will get the benefit and that will be percolated to the students. I thank once again. Thank you very much. So over to you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for taking the time to share your opinions and ideas. Thank you once again for accepting our invitation. Your presence has made us feel proud. A highly ranked achievement and another award has been added to ANCP. Our beloved principal, Dr. D. Swarnalata ma'am, Vice Principal and HOD of Pharmaceutics, Dr. P. Dwarkanath Reddy sir has received Associate Fellow Awardee 2020 by AP Academy of Sciences, Andhra Pradesh, in recognition of his or her services and contribution to science and technology. We, the teaching fraternity of ANCP, feel proud for this achievement and hearty congratulations to both of you, sir and madam, on behalf of Annamacharya College of Pharmacy. Our staff team do hope your awards will stood best representation in the status of ANCP. Now, I request Mrs. P. Anita, Associate Professor, Department of Pharmaceutics, to introduce the guest of honor, Dr. Professor B. Jayakar, sir, to the audience. Over to you, Anita, madam.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, one and all. Myself, P. Anita, Associate Professor in Department of Pharmaceutics, ANCP. It's my great privilege and honor to introduce our guest of honor, Professor B. Jayakar, sir, who is serving as EC member, Pharmacy Council of India and Registrar in Vinayaka Mission Research Foundation, Salem. Sir has received IDMA Gold Medal in 1982 for University First Rank, and Sir has awarded with Best Teacher Award from the Tamil Nadu Dr. MGR Medical University in 2012, Best Contributor Award from Indian Pharmacist Association Salem branch. Sir has acquired various academic positions such as Executive Committee Member of Pharmacy Council of India, New Delhi, and Member of Education Regulation Committee, Pharmacy Council of India, New Delhi. And Sir has acquired Executive Committee Member in Tamil Nadu State Pharmacy Council, Chennai. Sir has acquired various positions in professional bodies as Secretary, Indian Association of College of Pharmacy, Chennai from July 2015, Governing Council Member, Tamil Nadu Pharmaceutical Welfare Trust, Chennai from 2013, and Joint Secretary for Organizing Committee, IPC, Mysore 2015. Sir has guided 48 MPharm projects, 22 PhD, and 4 pursuing PhD projects. And his area of interest is focused on phytochemistry, pharmaceutical chemistry, and analysis. Sir has 94 national and 62 international journals. Sir has visited Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Dubai, Oman countries to attend conferences and has guided on pharmacy education. With this brief introduction, I wholeheartedly welcome the guest of honor for enlightening the audience. Over to you, sir. Jayakar, sir, over to you.
Yeah, good morning to all.
Good morning,
I
sir.
hope that I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Respected Chairman of Annamaricharya Educational Trust, Dr. Gangireddy Garu, the chief guest of today's short-term STPP program, my mentor and guru, Dr. M.D. Karvekar sir, the eminent speakers of this STP program, Professor Bhupendra Singh sir, Dr. L.D. Patel sir, and other resource persons, the principal of Annamacharya College of Pharmacy, Dr. Swarnalata, Vice Principal Dr. Dwanakra Reddy, and other teaching colleagues, research scholars, and dear students. I am indeed feel proud to be with you all today to participate in this inaugural function of the STP program sponsored by the All India Council for Technical Education. So I don't want to take much of your time because already our chief guest Dr. M.D. Karvekar sir thrown light on the importance of QBD, which has been started implementing from the year 2004, and because of the implementing this QBD, our research capacity of our country has increased a lot, and based on that, the pharmaceutical industries had started manufacturing the quality program, and it has been catered to the not only to the needs of our country health programs, but it is also exporting about 60% of our drugs to around 200 countries throughout the world. So that much importance is there for the QBD program, QBT, that is tool for developing the quality drugs. So our resource person, the keynote address, Dr. Bhupendra Singh and Dr. L.D. Patel sir, all they are going to share their knowledge to our future scientists to develop their knowledge in this QBD, so that will be much useful for the pharmaceutical industries and as well as the pharmacy profession. Regarding this Pharmacy Council of India, so now as our Dr. Karvekar already informed that from this year we are going to start a new diploma in pharmacy syllabus and curriculum for the year 2020 onwards. So this year there is a further meetings are there. So further meeting, once it is adopted by the Pharmacy Council of India, so by the before the end of this month, the Pharmacy Council of India will be going to implement the this diploma in pharmacy curriculum, new regulations, diploma in pharmacy 2020. And also the Pharmacy Council also taking keen interest to improve the knowledge of the pharmacist, not only as in the industrial side, but also on the clinical side. So it has started updating the curriculum and syllabus of PharmD programs, postgraduate programs, and as well as the degree programs. So this Pharmacy Council of India further, it has already enhanced that about the pharmacy practice regulations, amended pharmacy practice regulations, and it also planning to have an Pharmacy Council of India accreditation committee, so that the pharmacy colleges will be accredited in the future, so that the quality of the education programs in Pharmacy Council also will be enhanced to meet the needs of the international standards. So this is in this way, the Pharmacy Council of India is working under the leadership of Dr. B. Suresh, and in future we will have a lot of developments will be going to happen in the Pharmacy Council of India. So with this, I congratulate the team of Annamacharya that they are taking keen interest even in this pandemic time. Everybody is they are all very much afraid of this COVID-19 situation and pandemic era. The Annamacharya College team has taken keen interest continuously they are arranging various programs by utilizing this online platform and conducting a series of programs to the pharmacists and to the faculty members and as well as the students, so that they will not feel that because of this pandemic situation their knowledge has not been developed or knowledge has not been updated. So they are updating the knowledge and they are bringing out the latest developments to the students so that they can develop their knowledge, and that will be useful for the development of the pharmacy profession. So once again, I congratulate the principal and her team that for conducting the kind of these webinars continuously and also getting grants from conducting these various programs from AICT and other bodies. So with this small update, I thank you one and all for giving me an opportunity to be with you all to inaugurate this short-term training programs for AICT sponsored program today. Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. And thank you to the team.
Many thanks, Dr. B. Jaikar, sir, for sharing your thoughts and ideas with us. We are so pleased to have you in between us. I wish you keep on spreading the light of knowledge, and we look forward for your support in the future also. Thank you, sir. Thank you once again for accepting our invitation. Now, I take the opportunity to request Mrs. A. Sushmita, Associate Professor, Department of Pharmaceutical Analysis, to introduce the next guest of honor, Professor A. Suresh Babu, sir, Controller of Examinations, JNTU A. Anandapuram. Over to you, Sushmita.
Ma'am, am I audible?
You are clear.
Yes, madam.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Sushmita, you are audible. You continue. Sushmita.
Sushmita, madam. Sushmita, madam.
It looks like there is some technical issue. So just 2 minutes. She is joining.
Sorry for the delay. A very good morning to all the dignitaries, faculty members, and participant delegates. I am A. Sushmita, Associate Professor, Annamacharya College of Medicine, welcoming you all to the AICT sponsored STTP. It is indeed my honor to present before you to introduce the Controller of Examinations, JNTU Anantapuram, Professor A. Suresh Babu Garu. Professor A. Suresh Babu, an eminent scholar and academician in mechanical engineering, is the Controller of Examinations, JNTU Anantapuram. He looks after pre-examination and post-examination works of UG courses of all affiliated engineering colleges. He brings to the university his 28 years of combined experience in progressive academic leadership and rich administrative experience. Sir acted as Chairman, Board of Studies, JNTUH, Krishna University, and JNTUA, both UG and PG. And Sir is a member of Board of Studies, Department of MCA, Siddhartha Institute of Technology, Puttur. And Sir also acted as Academic Council Member, AATS. Professor Suresh Babu holds PhD from JNTU Anantapuram in 2013. He guided 40 MTechs, 50 MCA students, 1 PhD, and currently 7 PhDs are pursuing under Sir guidance. Professor Suresh Babu, an outstanding achiever himself, and has been instrumental in sharing institutions and colleges towards academic excellence. He has membership in various reputed bodies. He has more than 60 publications published in various reputed international and national journals with high scholar index. With this brief introduction, I would like to invite Professor Suresh Babu Garu to address the gathering. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sushma. Thank you for my introduction. So,
thank you, sir.
Sorry, I belongs to Computer Science Engineering Department. I'm not belongs to Mechanical Engineering Department.
It's sorry, sir.
Oh, no problem. No. Right.
Thank
so, Firstly, I have to thank you very much for inviting me to this AICT sponsored 6-day short-term training program on applications of QBD and other computational tools in pharmaceutical product development. So current trends and future perspective. So honorable dignitaries and invited guests, C. Gangireddy Garu, founder and secretary of Annamacharya Education Trust, Rajampeta, Professor M.D. Karvekar Garu, PCA member and director of Rupanadi College of Pharmacy, Bangalore, Professor B. Jayakar, EC member of PCI and registrar of Vinayaka Mission Research Foundation, Salem. So other eminent professors and industry experts, invited speakers for this STTP, Principal of Annamacharya College of Pharmacy, Dr. D. Swarnalata, Dr. P. Dwarakanath Reddy, Program Coordinator, staff and their participants. A very good morning to everyone, and I am very happy to be with you on this inaugural session. So being a professor of CSC, I know very little about this topic. So yesterday and day before yesterday, I've gone through this topic in Google. So that is the only source I have. I found that it's similar to our software testing, the most important phase of any software development cycle. So all of us knows that the medicine is a very special product. The development of pharmaceutical industry is based on innovation. So quality by test was the only way to guarantee quality of drug products before FDA launched current good manufacturing practice. In quality by test system, product quality is ensured in sequence of steps, including raw material testing, fixed drug product manufacturing process, and end product testing. It is only when all the specifications of the FDA or other standards are complied with that the materials can be used for manufacturing or coming to market. If not, they need to be reprocessed. Root causes for failure are usually not well understood due to the poor process understanding and uncertainty about how characteristics of substances impacts target product profile. As a result, the manufacturers have to restart the procedure until the root causes of failure are understood and addressed. FDA approves supplements to revise the acceptance criteria to pass the previously failed batches. This causes poor cost efficiency and product variation, which may lead to poor drug safety. So to clearly understand the manufacturing processes, FDA generalized quality by design in the field of pharmacy, which is based on the thorough understanding of how materials and process parameters affect the quality profile of final products. Fortunately, with the development of concept quality by design, there is a significant transformation in pharmaceutical quality regulations from an empirical process to a more scientific and risk-based approach. So again, QBD is a systematic risk-based proactive approach to pharmaceutical development that begins with the predefined objectives, emphasizes product process understanding and process control based on sound science and quality risk management. The application of QBD in drug formulation and process design is based on good understanding of the sources of variability and the manufacture process. The fast growth of interest in QBD and its tools indicates that the approaches are not fashionable phenomena, but responses to the demands of modern manufacturing process. So again, QBD is a cost and time efficient approach in design and manufacturing. With the design of experiments, risk assessment, and process analytical technology as tools to achieve a better understanding of the material and processes, which makes the QBD available and feasible to the pharmaceutical field. With its broad implementation in the pharmaceutical manufacture, drug products with high and reproducible quality can be anticipated. Moreover, QBD has become a broadly applicable manufacturing model and is going far behind the pharmaceutical areas. So finally, the organizers planned these 6 days STTP with perfect blend of rich, experienced resources persons. Before concluding my address, I must congratulate the entire team of Annamacharya College of Pharmacy, headed by Dr. D. Swarnalata, for organizing several FDPs, STTPs, and webinars. Congratulations to all of you. I thank the management and principal for inviting and giving me this opportunity to address everyone. Thank you, one and all. Over to you, Swarnalata.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So thank you, sir, for your valuable presence and grace in this event. So your precious words and suggestions have enlightened us. Thank you once again for accepting our invitation.
Thank you, thank you, sir. Thank you, all the experts. Thank you very much, sir. To me, I am very, very happy to meet you all, the eminent professors and industry experts. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Now I take this opportunity to request Dr. C. Suryaprakash Reddy, sir, Professor, Department of Pharmaceutics, Annamacharya College of Pharmacy, to introduce the keynote speaker, Dr. Bhupinder Singh Bhup, sir, to the audience. Over to you, Suryaprakash Reddy, sir. Suryaprakash, sir.
Madam, 1 second. 1 second, madam. 1 second.
Yeah.
Madam.
Okay.
Voice. Am I audible?
Your voice is not clear, sir. There is some disturbance.
Suryaprakash, sir.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, audible, sir.
Good morning to all and my dear colleagues and dear participants. I am Dr. C. Suryaprakash Reddy, Professor of Pharmaceutics, Annamacharya College of Pharmacy, Rajampet. Take this opportunity to address one of the eminent personality in the field of pharmacy. He is none other than Professor Bhupinder Singh Bhup, sir. He is currently the coordinator of UGC Center of Advanced Studies in Pharmaceutical Sciences and founder coordinator of National UGC Center for Excellence in Nano Biomedical Applications from 2000. Acclaimed globally for his scientific research work, especially on systematic development of novel and nanostructure, drug delivery using QBD barriers. Professor Bhup has contributed over 38 years of dedicated service towards pharmaceutical education, research, and industry. Professor Bhup, sir, has to his credit over 405 original publications, including 16 books by prestigious international publishers and 76 book chapters with a index of 50 and citations of over 10,500. Working in the domain of quality by design and related paradigms since 1995. He served as pioneer in this field in India and abroad. He is widely traveled keynote and invited talks in India and overseas, including USA, Canada, UK, Germany, China, Thailand, Hong Kong, Kuwait, Dubai. Several thousands of industrial science in India and overseas like Mylan, Zydus, Ranbaxy, Cipla, Cadila Pharma, Centis, Sun Pharma, Ipca Labs, Glenmark, Sanofi Aventis, Ajanta, Alchem, Jubilant, Bharat Serums, Panacea Biotech, Beximco Pharma, Dhaka, Lotus, Alvogen, Taiwan, and BioVectra, Canada, have been duly trained by him on QBD, biowaivers, and nanomedicine. He has got 110 researchers, including 34 PhDs and 60 postdoctorals, completed 6 industrial consultancy assignments, and has 8 patents, drug delivery products, and 15 computer softwares to his credit. He has earned research grants over 7 presentations made by 36 have fetched best paper awards. Based on his published work, his work has recently adorned among top 2% scientists across the world in 2020 by Stanford University, USA. His work has fetched with numerous awards and accolades like Leading Educators of the World, UK, 2007, Pharma Buzz, Pharma Personality Award, 2008, Shiksha Ratan Puraskar, 2008, Innovative Scientist Award, 2012 from CIIPP, QBD and Product Performance Award in the year 2012 and 13 from AAPS, USA, QBD Excellence Award, 2013 from CPHI Asia, Outstanding Scientist Award 2014 from Select Bio UK, Pharma QBD Outstanding Performance Award 2014 from Statis USA, APTI Best Pharmacy Teacher Award in the year 2014, Professor M. Scientist for Excellence Award 2015 from Minita 2015, Evonik, Germany, Professor J.S. Rai Oration Award 2015, GNDU, and HT. WA Name in Science Award, Professor DVS Jain Best Scientist Award in 2018, Global QBD Excellent Award 2019, elsewhere Best Research Paper Awards 20 and 21, 20 times felicitated by Punjab University Syndicate, and many more. He is on the expert panel of UGC, NBA, NAC, AICTE, PCI, DST, SERB, DBT, UPSC, PPSC, IPA, APTI, SPDS, SPER, Commonwealth, Secretariat, and scores of prestigious universities in India and beyond. At Punjab University, Professor Boop has been chairman, University Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences from 2014 to 17, fellow and member, University Senate and Syndicate 2012 to 2016, Dean, Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences 2014, and Dean Alumni Relations 2007 to 2011. On the basis of his exemplary accomplishment, Mr. Hamid Ansari, the then Vice President of India, nominated Professor Boop Sir to University Senate as its fellow in 2011. Professor Ved Prakash, the then chairman of UGC, conferred upon him the honorary fellowship of Punjab Academy of Sciences in 2017, and the Apex Pharma body, Indian Pharmaceutical Association, honored him as an IPA fellow in 2018. Apart from above all, he is an excellent human being. So with this brief note on his key accomplishments, now I would like to hand over the session to Boop sir. Welcome, sir. Now the session is yours.
Thank you so much for a very nice introduction. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
So can I can I be allowed to share the screen, my presentation? Yeah, I think there is technical some issue. I am disabled to screen.
Sir, the organizer will make you the co-host, so then you can share the screen, sir.
Yeah, please do the needful, and thank you so much, Mr. Ganji Reddy, Dr. Jaker, the registrar.
Yes, sir. Now you are co-host, sir. Now you can present, sir.
Okay. No, still let's say host disabled participant screen sharing. It's same kind of prompt is appearing. Host disabled participant screen sharing. Hello.
Sir.
Yeah.
Now you are allowed to share, sir. Now you are co-host, sir.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Perfectly all right.
Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir. Excellent, sir.
Quality by design paradigms for accomplishing, is my presentation visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. So at the onset, let me thank the organizer and C. Ganji Reddy, Dr. Jaker, the registrar, Professor M.D. Karvekar, my senior friend, Professor L.D. Patel, Professor Swarlatha, the principal of, the Anantarya College of Pharmacy, and Professor Dwarka Natha Reddy, who's head of the pharmaceutics and the best half of the principal, and Dr. Suresh Babu, and all the efficient team of the college to having invited me to deliberate upon this topic, which is very close to my heart and experience of more than 2.5 decades. So I'm, my dear friends, young faculty members, already much has been spoken by Dr. Karvekar and other speakers, about the introductory aspects of quality by design. I have been working in this area much before the word QPD came. I've been working in this area since 1995. 1996, I produced my first M.Pharm. Then I had been talking to pharmaceutical industry. That first talk was Kerala Pharma Ahmedabad at 1998. So we have been working in this area, since then into the development of DOE, QRM, and now it's QBD. Let me, start my presentation with respect to the same. So I have structured my talk in this area a little bit about the drug product development and the conventional technique of one factor at one time, OFAC, versus design of experiments, and then leading to QBD and the QBD offshoot, which is related to drug product development, that's formulation by design or FBD. This term and this concept has been rechristened by us, and there are various models and designs for formulation by design, and there are numerous applications of the same. I'll be touching upon some case studies and finally the cautions and conclusions. So, my dear friends, I personally feel a pharmaceutical product or drug product is simply an intricate device that contains not only the drug substance that's active pharmaceutical ingredients, but are myriad of excipients which may be functional or non-functional both. And those functional may be containing surfactants, suspending agents, etc. And while the non-functional may be disintegrants like additives or which all may be contributing towards the drug delivery performance in their own characteristic manner, as has been exemplified over here. And the drug products can be either a branded drug product or a generic drug product. Branded drug product, needless to mention, has a definite trade name as produced and marketed by the company that holds the valid patent, and so which is the innovators, and till the patent is valid, so the branded company gets the royalty. While or no sooner it gets off patent, many other companies can jump into and produce its copy products. Those copy products are called as generics, which are supposed to be the pharmaceutical clones. So it has to be comparable in all the aspects to the branded products, or also called as reference-listed drug products, in various aspects, be it the dosage form strength, be it the route of intake, be it the intended use, quality, or performance characteristics, particularly the oral bioavailability. So the former president of US, Barack Obama, used to be very, very, emphatic with respect to the usage of generic drugs to reduce the healthcare cost, because the healthcare cost in 2019 was estimated as $1,800 billion. And to reduce the same, Barack Obama used to tell that why can't we switch from the branded to generic drugs, because then generic drugs are equally effective but are cheaper. So as far as the Indian scenario is concerned, already much has been talked by Dr. Karvekar, that India is currently known as the pharmacy capital of the world. We have proved that we are, very significant as far as pharmaceutical world is concerned, as far as our, contribution towards the pharmaceutical world is concerned. Third biggest as far as the generic industry is concerned, and the biggest as far as vaccine industry is concerned. 40% by India, and every third drug master's file filed in USA is from India. Every third pill taken in the world is from India, and US $24 billion. That's 2019 statistics, which is growing at a phenomenal rate of 22% annual cumulative growth rate, which is very, 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 uncommon. So already, some of these statistics have been shared by Professor Karvekar. We were together at the China conference. Why did China call scientists like me, to their country? Because they want to emulate the Indian pharmaceutical scene as far as the generics are concerned. They are number one as far as the API production is concerned, but as far as generics are concerned, they are lagging much behind. So they want to, come up in race with that of India, and they are progressing very, very fast in that direction. And one such area which can bring them at par with that of India is the quality by design. Now, to break the monotony which we had been facing, I have brought this slide. You see, here is on the left a reference listed drug product being emulated by an elephant, and which has one trunk, 4 legs, and the area where, Tirupati, where this college is situated, you people are very, very familiar with this big an animal, while and in this part of the country, that's North India, we see this animal once. There's one trunk, 4 legs, and should carry a load of passengers and cargo, and should be black in color and should be herbivorous. Now, the guy on the right has made a generic drug product, which is to emulate the animals in the left-hand side. You look at the requirements which he has made. It has one trunk. He has made his animal to look like the elephant with one trunk, though artificially made, has 4 legs, and he is demonstrating that it can carry load and is jet black in color, not only black, much more blackish in color, and is herbivorous. And he also gives one more advantage. It gives milk too. So, he's demonstrating that my generic product is better than that of the reference list product, that's the elephant. In fact, it's not, because the generic product has to be holistically equivalent to that of the reference system product, not in individualistic trends. The point which I'm going to make across is that the product has to be, products need to be identical in holistic sense, but not merely in individualistic traits. And drug delivery system out of that is a specialized formulation system, which can be temporal or spatial. Temporal, where time has been tempered with, which is programmed drug release or sustained release or controlled release or fast release kind of formulations are called as temporal, while where space has been tempered with, that's targeted drug delivery systems, they are called as spatial. And one more category can be added, that's a bio-enhanced system where bioavailability has been improved. So since I have been working as a of the UC Center for Excellence in Nanobiomedical Applications. So nanostructured systems have very important role to play in drug delivery. So various drug delivery systems can come to our rescue, be it self-nanomulsifying drug delivery systems, be it solid lipid nanoparticles, nanostructured lipid carriers, nanomicelles, nanoliposomes, nanolipopolyplexes, quantum dots, dendrimers, fluorines, carbon nanotubes, graphenes, so on and so forth. My dear friends, be it a nanostructured system or novel drug delivery system or a conventional drug delivery system or a conventional drug product, every product produced in industry has to go through various processes to come up to the final form of a finished product. Say, for example, this is the case of a film-coated tablet. Now you see the yellow powder, which is granulated and through high shear granulator, and it's co-milled, wet milling, and then it's fluid bed navigated, fluid bed drying, and then it's co-milled again, dry milling. Then it's again mixed. Here it is tumble mixing, and then it's compressed using rotary tablet compression machine, and then it's film coated, that's using Excella Coata, and then imprinted to take the final shape of the imprinted tablet. So, my dear friends, this is how the formulation of imprinted tablet get made from the API, which is the powder form. So each such process, be it drying, be it mixing, be it compression, be it coating, be it imprinting, be it granulating, tends to mark with some kind of variability, and the overall depends on the variability of each of the processes. So this can be given by cause and effect Ishikawa fishbone diagram, which is called as fishbone because it looks like fishbone, with the spinal bone, that's the central spine being the product quality line, and rest all being the smaller bones. So the product quality is governed by various causes. Causes could be, men. That's the people who carry out research, the people who carry out the operations. It could be, materials, raw materials, or excipients, or other associated substances which make the formulation, in the finished form. It could be methodologies. It could be machinations. The equipment which is used for manufacture. It could be measurement devices. It could be the environment, that's milieu, and it could be the management policies. All these 7 M's tend to go in for the governance of product quality. And if you look around, the overall variability of the drug product is dependent upon the variability due to not only the API, the variability due to the excipients, various excipients I have already shared. These could be functional as well as non-functional. Functional, maybe surfactants, maybe suspending agent, maybe emulsifying agents, maybe some phospholipids, maybe some lipids, maybe some polymers. Non-functional, like I've just shared, some adding some compressibility characteristics or disintegrants, or some organoleptic agents, colors, flavors, etc. So, it could be the variability due to the process, and it could be the variability in the packaging, and above all, it's very important to understand the variability in the interactions. API with excipient 1, API with excipient 2, API with excipient N, and excipients with process, API with process, API with the packaging, API with others and interactions, all together, if you look around, the variability of the product is equal to variability of the API, excipients, processes, packaging, and interactions. So interactions is, I personally feel, the most important aspect which has been hitherto ignored. I keep showing this jovial slide. You see, this is a picture from the Australian Zoo. You see female zebra and male donkey. And you see the offspring. Offspring may be called as donkey or dongra. I leave it to you. So lest this may happen, optimization of the systems is very important, and so is of the drug products. Now, question arises, has the development of drug delivery systems not been optimized till date? No, it's not a new phenomenon. It has been carried out. Optimization has been a routine phenomenon in pharmaceutical industry. And I think everybody knows that the biggest industry across the world is the telecommunications, then it's the IT, and then it is the oil industry, and then it's the pharmaceutical industry across the world. Now, it's such a big industry, they had been optimizing their drug products, but the kind of technique of optimization which has been taken into consideration had been, half-baked. So they had been using one variable at one time approach, or also called as changing one single variable at one time cost approach, or sometimes also called as shotgun. So such type of approaches had numerous shortcuts. They were requiring a lot of effort, uneconomical, time-consuming, and not suitable to find errors, and what to talk of plugging the errors. They cannot reveal the interactions, they cannot pull the interactions out. There are so many shortcomings, but I have highlighted only a few of them. And it results only just okay kind of solutions. Detailed studies of all variables is not possible. Unable to establish cause and effect relationship. So, such type of disadvantages are very common with respect to the OVAD or OFAD techniques. It was just like, commenting upon the formulation by blind people. OFAD technique, which was adopted by pharmaceutical industry, was just like this. We had been commenting upon formulation just like this. So the one guy which is close to the trunk part, he says, no, I have found this is like Python. And the one which is close to the body part, no, it's robust like rock. The one which is close to the leg part, it's like, the tree trunk. The one which is close to the ear part, it says, it's like fan. And the one which is close to the ivory part, it's like, spear, bhala. Everybody has different notions, but the whole animal domain unexplained because nobody can see the animal per se. So that's what has been happening in the OVAD, OFAD technique. We had not been seeing the formulation, we had not been viewing, we had not been understanding. This is very important to understand, that whatever the problems. And as the previous chief guest and guest of the honor were talking about QBD versus quality by testing, the difference is phenomenal. Today we are in an era where each and every source of variability has to be identified, and we do not wish to see the elephant or the animal or the formulation for that matter blindfoldedly. We cannot afford to. I keep telling my students that if a doctor commits the mistake, it is the life of that patient at risk who's getting treated by that doctor. But if a pharmaceutical scientist or pharmaceutical person who's handling the manufacturing operations, the research operations beneath him, commits a grievous mistake, it is hundreds of thousands of the patients who are consuming his products at risk. So whose job is much more responsible? Obviously, it is the product development pharmacist's job, which is much more responsible. So we have to look into that. We cannot afford to look at the formulation blindfoldedly. So if you look at the skyrocketing recalls, and these statistics is till 2016, exponentially increasing, recalls from the market. And not only these recalls were valid for the prescription drugs, but for OTC products, but for cosmetics, and for the medical devices, dietary supplements, that's nutraceuticals as well. So all these were getting, withdrawn and retracted from the market. The only cause was variability. Now the question arises: how can this variability be? How can the quality of such products be assured and the recall be decreased? The answer is by reducing the variability through rational and systematic optimization, not through the conventional technique, which is called as one variable at one time or one factor at one time. So it has to be, scientific technique, which it has to be scientifically proven technique. But fortunately, we have a technique which is called as design of experiments, which is a rational approach that enables teams to learn about product and process behavior by running a series of experiments such that maximal information is obtained in minimal experimentation. I repeat, maximal information, minimal experimentation. That is the objective. If this is not generated, it means, our DOE experiment has not been conducted in an, affirmative way, in a correct way. There is something to look into. If this is the gist of the design of experiments, that information sabse zyada and काम सबसे कम. That is the beauty of design of experiments. And needless to mention, it's a systematized approach. and it is banked upon the basic principles of define, measure, control, improve, and analyze. So that's very important aspect, So define DMAIC it's called as. So I have highlighted the improvement part. You can constantly improve. Today, continuous improvement is the key of the federal exercise. USFDA has been talking about the pharmaceutical product development exercises or life cycle management exercises, which are amenable to continuous improvement. So continuous improvement can take place only if we have got rational techniques like the improvement, DMAIC, improvement is the key. So there are numerous, my dear friends, numerous advantages of DOE techniques. So number one, I need to highlight only a few because time does not allow me to discuss all of these. So it requires fewer experiments. Remember, the solution which is found out using design of experiments can never be challenged. It is the best ever solution. Nobody can in this world can challenge the solution found out using DOE. It is the best. There cannot be a better solution. Possibility of getting a better solution is totally, utterly ruled out. And we had been adopting, coincidental and traditional kind of approaches, which were just half baked or quarter baked or 3/4 baked. And it may turn out to be good. It may turn out to be very bad. But this is the technique which will always be yielding very good formulation. It yields the best solution if you have carried out it correctly. Can trace a problem. It allows you to tracing the problem, and not only tracing the problem, rectifying the problem. So today, federal agencies are talking about product and process understanding. That can never happen unless you know where the fault is and how to plug it. So that can be possible only through the use of design of experiments. And it yields the comprehensive understanding where the cause and effect relationship can be established. There only, the understanding will take place here. You can simulate the product or process behavior using various equations. And the most important aspect of DOE is you can save notable amount of resources, be it time, be it the experimental scientific effort, be it the materials, that's the API, excipients, and other associated materials, and be it the overall cost. So it's very effective, cost effective, and time effective, and material effective kind of technique. So, my dear friends, it's a bout between the systematic DOE approach and OFAT. OFAT is just like, wrestler. So let's see who wins, DOE or OFAT. We carried out a study in 2004, which was presented in 2005 on transdermal hydrogels, of tenoxicam. So first we found out the flux through human cadaver skin, and flux means permeation per unit area, permeation through human cadaver skin of tenoxicam gel, and here we are plotting it versus gelling polymer, which was Carbopol ETD 2000. And we found out, say over here, at second point, this is the best concentration of gelling polymer, which gives maximum flux. We kept this as constant, and we changed now the penetration enhancer. Penetration enhancer we have chosen as oleic acid. So we found that the fifth point gave the best flux. We kept these as fixed and made a formulation. So the point of intersection of, beads over here, this gives cost optimum, changing one separate variable, or O-fat optimum or O-VAT optimum over here. While we carried out simultaneously a study where the concentrations of gelling polymer and oleic acid were, as penetration enhancers, were optimized systematically using design of experiments as well. So the black spot indicated the true optimum. That was the true optimum. Well, the point of intersection of the beads was the O-fat optimum. You see, there are all poles apart. See differences between these two. So which could be attributed to the former, that's O-fat, being the half-way. Another way, factor A gets optimized at the same settings, factor B gets optimized. We get an apparent optimum, while the true optimum is, or the real optimum is missed altogether. So people had been, commenting upon this technique, in different ways. And I keep sharing the quote of Forsec, which says dosage form development using trial and error can be characterized as mere gambling. Using O-fat technique, you can simply call this as gambling. It may be, just like tossing the coin in the air. It may turn out to be right, that's heads. It may turn out to be tails. So you may win, you may lose. You may get a good formulation, you may not get a good formulation. While on the other hand, if you use instead of O-fat, DOE technique, you would always be getting the client side of your choice. You'll always be getting the best formulation. No gambling, no serendipity, no chance. You'll always be getting good formulation. So Forbes magazine, everybody knows about Forbes statistics, who is the most powerful man or woman, or who's the richest person across the world or across a particular country. Such type of statistics are being diversed most dependably by Forbes magazine, which is from the US origin. So in 1996, they gave this mantra: if you test factors at one time, there's very low probability to hit the right one before everybody gets sick of it and quits. It tells that, if you use one factor at one time, it's very probability is very low to get the best formulation, and the probability is very low to get a timely formulation. There are some issues to move to the next slide. Anyway, Wall Street Journal shook the entire world in 2003, almost 18 years back. So it gave this heading: the pharmaceutical industry has a little secret. As it invents futuristic new drugs, its manufacturing technique lags far behind that of potato chip and laundry soap makers. Means, the soap industry, nut and bud, and dental implants, pizza industry, chips industry, oil exploration industry, they are far ahead than pharmaceutical industry as far as the futuristic techniques deployment is concerned. So that shook the pharma world, and that shook the US FDA, because it's considered to be the epitome of the federal agencies. Now today, US FDA has been constantly pressing to develop all the generic formulations, all the formulations in journal and generic formulations in particular, employing principles of quality by design, QBD, of which DOE is an almost essential element, almost essential. There are some issues while moving to next slide. Can any technical expert help? I get issues in, I have to click several times to get to the next slide. Anyway, so quality by design as per the federal paradigms has been defined as a systematic approach to design product and process as well. But for to meet the patient needs, the objective is to meet the patient needs. I reiterate, हमारा purpose क्या है? To bring a formulation which can alleviate a particular disease in a safe and effective manner. So patient needs at desired quality levels. Now next, Dr. Karvekar also had been pointing out, without relying upon, I repeat, without relying upon the conventional paradigms of periodic inspection and testing. You need not rely upon, testing and inspection, because it is you as a team who have built the quality into the system. You have adopted the technique of quality by design, and you have built the quality into the system. What is the need of testing it time and again? Even if you test, it's going to come out with flying colors. So this lady, Janet Woodcock, till a few years before the former president, Mr. Donald Trump, she was a lady to reckon with in FDA. She was the director of CDER FDA. And she defined very astutely that pharmaceutical quality is a function of not only drug substance is a synonym for API. Not only API, not only excipients, not only process, but package too. I personally feel one aspect this lady missed, that's interactions. So pharmaceutical quality is a function of API, excipients, process, packaging, and possible interaction between these. Now, quality by design, people have been talking about, is this a new concept? It's not that new concept, but it's pharmaceutical is relatively newer. It was developed, it was proposed by none other than G.M. Duran, a quality expert from US. He talked that quality can be planned in the first place to avoid quality crisis by building quality into the system. You can build the quality into the system instead of working on the same and then testing whether it fulfills the requirement or not. If you have built the quality into the system, it will be quality which will be coming out on every kind of testing. There is no ambiguity. That's what he proposed. And in US, when he proposed way back in early 2000s, nobody paid heed to him in US. He moved to another developed country, that's Japan. And Toyota company, hired his services. And Toyota was the first company to, implement quality by design in car manufacturing, thanks to the concept of G.M. Duran. But when FDA realized that these concepts need to be implemented at pharmaceutical development level as well, his services were recalled, and he was not ready to move. But somehow his patriotic element, his nationalistic element, outweighed, and he came back to US and steered the US FDA to the implementation of QBD. So quality by design is quality by planning, quality by intent, not by chance. Somebody, before we was talking about, use of designs, for attaining quality. Design over here is not the experimental design. Design over here is the plan, is the intent. In day-to-day life, हम कहते हैं कि this guy, this particular guy does not seem to have good designs. इसके तौर तरीके अच्छे नहीं लगते, इसके intent अच्छा नहीं है, इसकी design अच्छी नहीं है. This guy doesn't seem to have good designs. Means his intention, his ways are not looking to be great. You know? So that's what design in quality by design means his intent. The intent is not appropriate. If the intent is appropriate, so it is quality by intent, quality by planning, or quality by design. So quality by design is quality by planning, quality by intent, quality by some fresh need. It's not by merely by chance, as has been happening before implementation of quality by design. So question arises, what is quality, what is design, how does design deliver quality? So I looked into, when I talked initially, I think in early 2000s, 2008 or 7, on QBD, when the term QBD came. I had been talking on this area since 1998 to industry people. But when quality by design came, I looked into, let me see, what is the literal meaning of quality. Having not been able to find, I just looked into Oxford Dictionary and I got a very interesting definition. Quality is building excellence in a particular property, particular trait. And if I look into excellence, so excellent is building quality in a particular trait. So my dear friends, quality and excellence, they are basically synonyms. And needless to mention, the quality feature is dynamic. 10 years ago do not hold good and will not hold good 10 years later. So it's dynamic. Everything can be improved provided quality is dynamic. And what is design? I have just shared. Design is the conscious intent. I go by the second definition, not by the definition which we gave in 2011. Subsequently, Swiss Pharma gave a better definition that it's a conscious intent. Design is intent to deliver a product or process with a particular quality. Now, in industry, people had been asking me, very funny questions, and they had been telling, sir, Bhoop, sir, you don't know that, QBD is an addict. It's a ploy. It's a conspiracy by US FDA to keep, Indian scientists away from, the US market. They want the supremacy of US products. And that's why, had it been so, I wouldn't have been, talking to pharmaceutical industry since 1998. They came in for the guidance since 2010. So I have been talking since 1998. So there are so many advantages to this kind of technique. We must admit it's not a ploy, it's not a conspiracy, it's not an addict, it's not a hukumnama that we have to follow, just like that. And in one of the company, one president of Johnson & Johnson company, who happened to be a good friend of mine, I was to deliver the keynote at CPHI conference way back in 2012. And he was to attend that conference, but due to he being a busy man, he was involved in some emergency operation. I couldn't attend. Then he called me after the conference. Dr. Bhoop, sorry, I missed your valuable talk. So just let me know which software to use, QBD. I felt like banging my head into the wall that the president of a leading international company, is telling that QBD is software. No, my dear friends, QBD is not merely software driven. It may be taken care of using software in a better way. Everything can be taken care of. We do typing these days using software, but we can, edit a document or write a document using manual ways, other ways, as a typewriter or, handwriting as well. But using computers, there may be advantages similarly over here too. But if you consider that QBD is only software driven, you are utterly, butterly mistaken. No? So I told, it's not a software, my dear. You have to understand the concept. There is sea difference between what you had been doing and what you need to do in due course of time. So it's not in one of the companies, number 2 or 3 number companies, generic manufacturer in the India. When I trained that company, the CEO of a company who was there at the inaugural, it was a 2-day training program. So Monday, for example, first day morning, he, introduced me and, presented some bouquets, something like that. And the second day evening, he again came for the valedictory session. And he shared that we have got excellent feedback from human resource regarding Professor Boop and his associates' lectures and training programs. We are now, I am going to declare now, we are going to introduce QBD as a standard operating protocol. Again, I felt like, banging my head onto the wall. It's not a, QBD is not an SOP, my dear friends. QBD has to be decided, here. QBD has to be planned over here. QBD is to be decided case to case. We have to decide the design. We have to plan and we have to execute. It is understanding and then application. In a nutshell, when I presented one such inaugural talk at IPA conference, Goa, way back, one scientist came to me. He told, sir, most of your talk was in English, say 90%, 90-95%. You hardly spoke in Hindi, but I am more comfortable with Hindi. Dinner time, could you please summarize QBD in Hindi? And it's very difficult, although, but which company do you belong to? He told, I'm in generic industry. Then I told that you are making copycat products. You are copying the products. And yes, sir, we are copying the reference product as the generic product. Like, fine, absolutely fine. So you are doing knuckle. Yes, we are doing knuckle, jokingly. Now I told, in QBD, you have to, for generics, you have to do knuckle, but with akka. You have to do knuckle with akka. Quality you have to maintain, but by design, not by testing. That's very, very important. How would you do so? We'll come to that. So QBD, my dear friends, is a rational mindset. It's a scientific mindset to follow the process. And not only that, it is a set of scientific principles to steer that mindset. And not only that, it is adoption of that scientific mindset to implement various kinds of principles. So adoption of these principles to attain quality by, through the rational mindset is what QBD all about. So it is doing it right from start. It's all about patients. I've already talked about. You have to understand the patient needs. You have to design and develop products meeting those patient needs. You have to design and develop the manufacturing process capable of delivering the products meeting those patient needs. Patient needs, and patient needs. That is only the objective in case of QBD. So QBD settings, normally we have upper specification limit and lower specification limit. which is the patient's expectations. But QBD lets you go even beyond because you are rationally implementing the same. So it lets you go beyond the requirements. So why to implement? I keep sharing with industry, good return on investment, knowledge sharing is higher, improved time to market. You can launch your product much quicker. The cost is reduced because there will be less recalls from the market, less rejects because you are maintaining quality. The overall product efficiency will be much more, the economy will be much more. People will be less doubtful, skeptical about the generic quality, and the post-approval changes are minimal, and it will be overall cost effective. And it provides regulatory flexibility. Today, every pharma industry asks the regulatory agencies to provide some flexibility. So QBD tends to provide regulatory flexibility through a concept called as design space. So I keep showing to industry, Charles Darwin, told that it's neither the strongest of species nor the most intelligent ones, but those are the most survive. And survival of the fittest requires, maintaining your spike with the latest, with the modern concept. So if you wish to survive in the current scenario, I keep telling to industry, you have to be fit enough to be abreast with the latest paradigms and implement the same. So QBD is talk of the town. QBD is the need of the hour, ardent need of the hour. You have to adopt. So unless you adopt, you'll be left behind in the scene. And India is continuing to steer ahead. Let's have 3 cheers for Indian pharmaceutical industry, despite the so many hiccups, political, bureaucratic, infrastructural, Indian pharmaceutical industry, federal, regulatory, Indian pharmaceutical industry continues to reel ahead and make our country proud. It's not the prerogative of any particular government. I personally feel, no government should take the credit for the same. It has been last 20 years that Indian pharmaceutical industry has been reigning, across the world as number 3 and surging ahead to be number 2, in due course of time as well. So it's good. QBD is excellent, not only for regulatory agencies, industry, and patients. It has benefits for everybody to be implemented. So look at the filing, 2003 filing, left side, and 2006, filing, which is quite reduced post QBD implementation. So what gets improved? Quality excellence, customer, that's patient satisfaction, and ease of production for industry as well. So earlier, quality by testing or quality by inspection approach was, like a black box status, in each case. In each step, you never knew what's going to happen. So today, my, product is getting tested for, bioavailability. I do not know what's the outcome tomorrow. I have a nightmarish experience, that, whether my product will get, tested as bioequivalent tomorrow or not. But because we have been implementing quality by inspection, quality by testing, we do not have scientific rationale for the same. But using quality by design, everything is transparent. You have built the quality into the system, and testing is not required. And it's not like black box, it's like white box status or nearly white box status. You know what's going to be the outcome. You are, sending your product for bioavailability testing, and you're having full night's sleep because you know who that you have built the quality into the system, and it will be their quality, and on testing at every front. So the QBT approach, quality by testing approach, was testing intensive, designed was, testing as well as design intensive. So quality by testing is like, the chaotic traffic of New Delhi, you just see. And quality by design is just like traffic regulated on the roads of Los Angeles, which I visited in 2004. So this is a picture of how regulated it is. Quality by testing is just like diving into the field, into the ocean for finding the reality, while quality by designing is not diving but driving onto the well-carved path over the ocean to get the nuances. Quality by testing is just tip of the entire iceberg, while quality by design is the entire iceberg, including the tip. Quality by testing is just like fitting one tire into various sizes and failing to do so, while quality by design makes it happen. So quality by testing is depending upon knowledge exchange from one person to another, while quality by design is, banking upon knowledge integration. It has brought people from the siloed conditions together. Now, gone are those days when QA people will be talking in a different way, QC will be talking in a different way, production will be talking in a different way, R&D in a different way, IPR in a different way. Now they sit together, they pool their resources and integrate the knowledge. QBD is in tandem with QBR. Quality by design is in tandem with question-based review. This is very important for us to understand that these days, every drug product is reviewed through question-based reviews. And, the scientists are asked with various questions. They were bombarded with various questions from the review team, question-based review. And if they are able to convince, yes, the product is allowed to be marketed. If they are convinced that the company knows, so they'll be allowing the product to be marketed and product to be launched. But if they are not, sorry, your product is not allowed. It's rejected. And if you are implementing quality by design, you know your product much better. There is product and process understanding. You can defend question-based review much better. That is, QBD is in tandem with QBR. So the earlier approach was data-rich, information poor. Earlier, the QBD testing, that's on the right-hand side. You have to search for the data. While the conventional approach, QBD is, very systematic. You can get any kind of data at click of a button. So FDA timelines, in 2010, they came up with the QBD guidelines, and they wanted it to be made compulsory since January 2013. A lot of people represented, but they stuck to their guidelines. But the situation is still alarming. There are pharmaceutical industries, even in India, who are earlier leaders in generics, who are yet to implement QBD in their scenario. This was the first product, Januvia sitagliptin, which was by Merck Sharp and Dohme, which was QBD compliant 2005. And since then, so many products have been launched into the market which are QBD compliant. So this is, in a nutshell, QBD as far as federal guidelines are concerned. You first set quality target, which is nothing else but a product profile. What should be my product like? What should be the profile of my drug product and drug product quality? What should I aim at? Quality target product profile. And for that, the quality target product profile should have some critical quality attributes, some important properties amongst the quality target product profile, which are to be critically examined. And having defined critical quality attributes, you will be also identifying critical material attributes and critical process parameters in due course of time, and you'll be linking them together. Critical quality attributes are dependent. Critical material attributes and critical process parameters are independent ones. You'll be linking them together. Why? That's critical quality attributes and access to access critical material attributes and critical process parameters, dependent upon each other, correlated with each other. And using this correlation, you develop a design space within the specifications of which the formulation has to be, moving around. If the formulation tends to have specifications within that design space, it will be allowed to be launched, else it will not be, if it's not remaining within the design space. And the entire process from QTPP to design space, whatever strategy has been adopted is called as control strategy of various controls during that process. So the whole roadmap will be, shot down, documented as a control strategy. So the control strategy along with design space has to be documented to federal agencies. And this control strategy will be able to, I just talked about initially, continuous improvement, will allow continuous improvement even after the launch of the product. So I repeat, QTPP, quality target product profile, is the aim, which can be executed through critical quality attributes, that's the dependent variables, and critical material attributes and critical process parameters. Linking them together, understanding them, you can establish design space within which your formulation can behave. You are provided with regulatory flexibility as well. And the entire roadmap is called as control strategy, and which is also to be documented federally. And control strategy will allow you to continuous improvement. And the whole cycle goes on. So QTPP kya hai? What is QTPP? So prospective and dynamic summary of quality characteristics. Maybe like what is the route of administration, what is the dosage form, what is the dosage strength, what are the important quality criteria like drug release characteristics, stability, sterility, purity, what are the important drug delivery characteristics like dissolution in case of inhalational drug delivery, its aerodynamics, so on and so forth. So this is one example I have chosen from literature. Here is QTPP, dosage form, route of administration, strength, tablet appearance. Out of this, what is critical is assay. Assay is very important. Unless the assay is regulated, how can the quality of the product be assured? And not only the assay, the mean, the variation amongst these, content uniformity from one tablet to another, from one bottle to another, from one MPL to another, content uniformity, and for any oral dosage form, the drug release, the dissolution, it gets dissolved, and also from impurities, from safety point of view, see what is the level of impurities, so that is also to be taken care of from the QTPP. So there are 4 CQAs taken from the entire list of QTPPs, So this is how CQAs are embarked. So critical quality attributes are physical, chemical, biological, or microbiological characteristics of a formulation that should remain within a certain range. So what should be the criteria for selection of critical quality attributes? One learned good friend told me, of course, it should be company profit. No. And someone told, no, operation safety. I said, no. Then someone told, environmental safety. I said, no. Then what is the concern? It is the patient. patient benefits, patient benefits, patient benefits. We are producing products for the benefit of the products, and the products should be efficacious, safe, and at most, you can add one more characteristics, that's economical. Safety and efficacy are the principal considerations for regulatory point of view. So critical material attributes and critical process parameters. Critical material attributes are the product characteristics like API, excipients, packaging material, which directly affect the product quality. While the critical process parameters are the process parameters. Remember, granulation time, granulation speed, rotor rotation time, all these, processing parameters, RPM. So all these are the parameters related to process time. Both of these are the input parameters, influential parameters, which are supposed to affect the critical quality attributes. And overall, this slide has been taken from the FDA, has been constructed from FDA. So desired product performance, product design, process design, these are the objectives of quality by design, leading to product quality attributes, process parameters, process controls, product specification. Together, it leads to product understanding and process understanding. And finally, continuous improvement, because if you understand your product, you can, improve it as well, So if you cut the entire QBD circle in two halves, you get this kind of semicircles. So product understanding, look at the outermost surface, and process understanding. Today, FDA has been time and again asking, what is the product and process understanding under question-based reviews? They ask, what is your understanding? How do you understand well? If you understand your product well, there is very less likelihood that your product can go haywire. So understanding is the key. Product and process understanding is the key. And that is the ultimate objective of QBD. And there are guidances to guide us on ICH Q8, Q9, Q10, Q11, Q12 over here, and process analytical technology. And such guidances have been endorsed by almost all the leading drug regulatory agencies, be it US FDA, be it WHO, be it the Europe EMEA, be it Canada Health Canada, be it China SFDA, be it South Africa MCC, be it TGA, that's Australia, be it PMDA, that's Japan, be it MHRA, that's UK, be it Indian Drug Control. Very recently in the Indian Parliament, the committee approvals by our steering committee appointed by SEDESCO, of which I was also one of the members, and the other member was, Dr. Mukesh Goel, late Dr. Mukesh Goel, and Dr. Saranjit Singh from academia, and there were some member from pharmaceutical industry, Dr. Romi Singh, and somebody from Dr. Reddy's, and some drug regulators, again from Hyderabad, from Punjab, Haryana. So together we have proposed some changes in drugs and cosmetic rules and drugs and cosmetic act, and which have finally been approved very recently. Now implementation of the same will be, helping in implementing the basic requirements of QBD in the development of in Indian drug control as well. But this has been recommendatory, not essential. When QBD is the talk of the town, we propose another analogous term for QBD in product development, exclusively in the product development in 2012. And that was none other than formulation by design. we are the author of this term. We proposed this term for the very first time. And formulation by design is drug product development. You know, pharmacy is, needless to mention, both art and science. So you have to know the drug product development, art and science. Plus, you have to have QBD enabled product and process understanding. You need to know design of experiments. You need to know one more aspect, that's quality risk management. I'll be touching upon briefly on the same, and then you are able to launch formulation by design. This was the first article where we proposed formulation by design in expert opinion in drug delivery in 2011. Then since then, it's a commonplace. You can Google it. So many people are using the word formulation by design across the world, but we proposed this term very first time. Although the authors, although the reviewers were very reluctant to use a newer word, formulation by design, expert opinion, drug delivery, but today it's a commonplace. Formulation by design is the best tool to match the innovative product's performance. So OVAT technique, goes here and there, but formulation by design technique always hits the bullseye. There are so many advantages of formulation by design using OFAT technique. It yields the best solution, it's robust, it's holistic. Now, a drug product from formulation by design point of view is a system. It's a transfer function where the input variables X's are getting converted to Y's. X's are the input variables, Y's are the output variables. Well, there are other variables too, which are called as uncontrollable variables, U's. So for example, in pharmaceutical industry, manufacturing is hardly carried out in air-conditioned environment. It's air-controlled environment, humidity-controlled environment, but it cannot be air-conditioned. It cannot be within certain specifications of temperature and humidity you can follow. It cannot be like that. So you have to, bear that variation of variables, which are called as uncontrollable variables, but X's and Y's. If you're able to predict Y's from the given values of Y, it's a white box status. If you're unable to predict at all, it's a black box status. If you're able to moderately predict, it's called as gray box status. Using OFAT, it was always black box status, maybe slight gray. But using formulation by design, it's always white box status which you get. You get total predictability, total transparency. And this transfer function gives you the information, what's happening inside the formulation, product and process, understand. So you have to understand a few terms. I can pass on some of the manuscripts, some of the papers published by us since 2005 till date. Recently, we have published in critical reviews for therapeutic bacterial systems, a big on nanostructure bacterial systems. So I can send some of those highly cited, highly, followed, highly sought after articles. Let me share with, lot of pride, confidence, and satisfaction with you all that I and my research project team are numero across the world. I'm not talking about country, across the world, as far as applications of QBD in drug delivery are concerned, application of QBD in analytical development are concerned. we are undisputedly number one. That's why Stati's company, which is producing the most sought after DOE product, that's Design Expert, has been supplying us the software since 2012, free of cost, because they know when we'll be, publishing our publication using Design Expert, it will be automatic publicity, because our group is the number one in publishing QBD-enabled drug delivery such publications across the world, across the world, with a lot of satisfaction. Let's feel proud of India. Let's feel proud of Indian pharma, in this regard. So I can share some of our publications with Dr. Dwarkanath and Dr. Swarnalatha to be shared with the faculty participants, because it is the onus of the faculty participants not only to understand this very important paradigm. We are not talking, we are not beating about the bush. We mean business. I'm with His grace, Almighty Lord's grace and your wishes, I'm highly sought after in pharmaceutical industry. But still, I prefer to talk to the educators, young educators, because they are the cornerstone, they are the foundation stone of the future pharmacists, future product development scientists who need to be educated. You are the ones who are to groom the young students. So you must be clairvoyant. You must be, very, literate in QBD paradigms, in many other paradigms, but including QBD paradigms, because at least next 50, 100 years, this is going to stay till there is a better, paradigm other than, QBD in place, which can, change, which can metamorphose the quality of the drug product. So you have to understand what is variability, what are factors, what is design, what is software, what are model diagnostics. I'll share some of the manuscripts written by our group, which are sold by the journals at a cost of $200, $180, $220. So being the principal authors, I can share for academic purpose, which can be freely distributed and made use of by the faculty participants. I'm still getting the same issue of moving to next slide. So I repeat, from FBD point of view, QTPP is also called as objective and QTPP are one and the same thing. Variables could be, dependent or independent, qualitative or quantitative, and the factors, factors are the influential variables, input variables, which tend to influence the responses. Responses are critical quality attributes. So the input variables are called as factors, and factors may be CMAs or CPPs or both. And the levels, the values assigned to the factors is called as levels. Responses are also called as CQAs. And experimental runs are the studies, experimental studies carried out as per the design matrix. Design matrix is a plan as per the design. And there are explorable spaces, there are knowledge spaces, there are design spaces. I'll take up that part a little later. So I repeat, my dear friends, variables could be CQAs, CMAs, or CPPs. CQAs are dependent ones, CMAs and CPPs are the independent ones. And also, very important, the variables, if they are to be used for formulation by design or quality by design, they should be influenceable, they should be controllable, and they should be measurable. Unless you can measure them, the purpose is not served. You know? So then only those variables are called as control variables. So coding is absolutely required in case of QBD or formulation by design. So here is one case of our supersaturated systems, which of nimesulide, which we formulated somewhere in 2006 by Dr. Naveen Ahuja, who is now, the principal scientist in laboratories, Pune, and looking after all the QBD arrangements, single-handed. She is the single point contact in QBD. So polyoxamer, PVP K25, we used in different concentrations. So 25, 50, 75 polyoxamer, the lowest amount is coded as -1, the highest is coded as +1. This is absolutely necessary. Highest to be coded as +1, lowest to be -1, intermediate as 0. Similarly, PVP K25, 50 to 100, 50 as -1, 100 as +1, and PVP, as 0. So interaction is the failure to produce the additive effect A plus B equal to sum equal to A plus B. If it is not equal to, interaction is happening. If two persons are working together, the result is not the sum of their individual performances. It could be either greater or could be less. If it is greater, there is synergism. If it is less, there is antagonism. There is antagonism. So who knows it better than we, the scientists in pharmaceutical sciences, that two drugs, when they are administered together, they do not behave in a predictable manner. There could be much more than desirable response, or there could be much less. If it is much more, it's synergism. If it is much less, there is antagonism. So here is the case where there is no interaction. Parallelism is there. Now here there is synergism. You are getting more than what is anticipated. Here it is antagonism. You are getting less than anticipated. Both the cases are called as interactions. And this 3D diagram, my colleagues used to call these as chatris. Way back in 2000s, they used to mock at me. Dr. Bhoop does drug delivery development, but through chatris, through umbrellas, but we do it directly. Now, those umbrellas, those chatris are highly, highly sought after by FDA. FDA tells, where is your chatri? Where is your umbrella? So this chatri, this umbrella is called as 3D response surface, where y-axis is the dependent variable, one dependent variable. There are two x-axis, x1, x2. Completol and tween AT are plotted over here, x1, x2. So two independent variables, one dependent variables. If there are two independent variables, one response surface, 3D response surface is required. If there are three independent variables, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 3. Three response surfaces are required. X1, X2, X2, X3, X1, X3 on the abscissa scale, Y remaining the same. The CQA remains. For each CQA, there will be three such response surfaces. And here is, I get back, if you cut this 3D surface, in, horizontal manner, or if you look at its top view, you'll get this. Thanks, that problem of moving from one slide to another is resolved. This 2D graph is called as contour plot. This is called as contour plot, 2D contour plot. And overall, formulation by design is consisting of 5 critical steps. First, defining QTPP and CQAs. Number 2, earmarking, selecting critical material attributes and critical process parameters. How would that be possible? Through factor screening and risk assessment. Number three, you'll be deciding the designs, experimental designs, and you'll be carrying out experimentation, and the study is called as design of experiments. And the fourth, you'll be developing some quantitative relationships, some equation, and with the help of that, you'll be modelizing. You'll be developing models, and you'll validate, because this is an era of validation. You'll validate those results, whether the results are coming up to the mark or not, and you'll develop design spaces within knowledge space, and if possible, control space within the design space. I'll come to that. And finally, the fifth step has to be carried out in the industrial level, which is called as pilot plant scale up, production, and commercialization. So the first step, defining QTPP and CQS, I've already shared, I bypass. Second step, that's prioritization. You have to select the highest priority variables. Factor sparsity principle, that's Pareto principle. Pareto principle based upon that 80% effects are due to 20% of the causes. I repeat, 20% of the causes tend to contribute towards 80% of the effects. So 20% of the diseases are accounting for 80% of the fatalities across the world. 20% of the consumers are accounting for the consumption of 80% of the drug products. That's being taught in marketing as well. You need to concentrate on those 20% of the consumers who are consuming 80% of your product. Don't spoil, don't squander your energies on 20% of the consumers who are consuming your rest of the product. 80% of the consumers who are accounting for 20% of it. Look at the 20% of your consumers who are accounting for 80% of your products. So the wealth of the world is accounted by 80% of the wealth, by 20% of the rich, be it India, be it US, be it the world statistics per se. It's applicable. So Pareto principle is applicable. In product development too, you have to identify those 20% of the variables which are accounting for 80% of the variation. Rest products which are accounting for only 20% of the variation ignored. हमने जो सबसे influential है उनको choose करना. So we have to follow Pareto principle, and following that, so many possible X's, so many possible Y's can be screened out of that as the critical process parameters or critical material attributes. So factor screening is an exercise where you tend to screen out the variables which are not influential, and which are influential, you select them as CMAs or CVPs. It's like just separating rice from rice. So if the input variable is a factor, influential, and you have identified it as influential, then the result will be phenomenal, excellent. If it is a factor, you are unable to identify, the result will always be erroneous. God is a savior. If it's not a factor and you have identified its error, but it will unnecessarily increase the expenditure of time and effort and money, but it will not spoil the experiment. But if it's not a factor, you have not been able to identify it's a desirable situation, there's no effect. So how to identify? There are two tools, very important tools, remember. Number one is half normal plot. Number two is Pareto chart. Almost all software also have got some type of. So this is half normal plots. The points which are staying away from line, like B factor, like C factor, like interaction between B and C, BC, they are highly, highly influential. So your overall variability in CQ is dependent upon B, factor C, and the interaction between these two BC. And Pareto chart. This is one example of Pareto chart. So the length of the chart tends to dictate. Now here, you just look around. There are two limits: p-value limit, Bonferroni limit. If a point crosses t-value limit, it's statistically valid. If a point crosses Bonferroni limit, it is statistically very, very valid. You cannot afford to ignore that. So you look around, A point crosses Bonferroni limit, just crosses. C crosses, magnanimously, magnitude is much higher. So C is very, very prominent. So is A, and so is AC. That's the interaction occurring between A and C. Wonderful, which has been able to identify Pareto chart. In the previous case, it was half normal plot. Remember, I beg your pardon, within 1.5 hours, granted to me by Anand Charya, College of Pharmacy, I cannot make you proficient or totally, literate on QBD. But there are by Dr. L.D. Patel, very respected, Six Sigma expert, and Dr. Ranjit Parshikar, who's running his own pharma company and a good friend of mine, much senior, of course, than me, because he has 45 years of experience in industry. And I remember, there is Dr. Tinu Sharma, one of the students, who did her doctorate in our group, very proficient, who's talking about probably analytical quality by design. And Dr. Asha Patel, who is talking about the chemometric tools to attain the quality by design perspectives in a much better way, in certain sophisticated manner. So another approach to choose the influential variables is risk management. How to risk management, lets you keep to walk on the tightrope among possible risks. Not only that, it provides you cushion while walking on the rope with minimum risks. And it provides you with risk estimation metrics. So two aspects are to be looked into: the severity and the likelihood or probability. So severity and likelihood, when they are plotted together, the green areas are to be ignored, the red areas to be, certainly taken into consideration, while the areas in between, here it is slightly pink, or it could be yellow, could be taken into consideration depending upon the time and money you have got. So there is another technique called as failure mode effect analysis, FMEA, which is, more sophisticated, which is adopted in almost all automobiles, aeronautical, and electronics industry, now in pharmaceutical industry too. So be it FMEA or REM, you have to select the best ones, ignoring the unwanted ones. As this dental surgeon is telling, your teeth look great, but it looks like I need to extract your tongue because it's coming my way. Now, formulation by design, or one aspect of quality risk management amongst this, requires brainstorming amongst team members. It's very, very important. So I told you initially that formulation by design or quality by design have brought people from various streams together. Be it QA, be it QC, be it analytical development, be it IPR, be it DRA, be it drug documentation, and of course, the plant and the R&D, formulation R, formulation development. So together, formulation development is the key. So they tend to work in unison with each other. So lab scale, pilot scale, exhibit scale, product development life cycle until filing design, even after filing, so after approval, the formulation by design is taking place. So in a nutshell, first you have to prioritize the selection of the variables, then you have to plan your experimentation, then you need to carry out experimentation, and then you need to implement the results of that experimentation. Next step is design guided experimentation analysis using DOE. In this case, experimental design is considered as a must. So what is experimental design? It's a strategy to set up experiments such that information is obtained as efficiently and precisely as possible. Do you hear this melodious song, Tujhe Dekha To Ye Jana Sanam, DDLJ? And there was accompanying noise that was not, unsolicited kind of noise, that was built in, deliberately built in. That was not the noise like, you hear, which is coming along with Zoom, No, it is deliberately built. In day-to-day situation too, we come across sukh and dukh. We come across wanted and unwanted kind of outcomes. We come across successes and failures, and we have to deal with the same. So the failures is the nuisance part, the noise part. The success is the effect part. We wish to always have wish to enjoy the positive part, the signal. Along with signal, the noise part comes, and the attempt should be to maximize signal to noise ratio. Those who are from analysis, farm analysis, maybe from farm chemistry, and they would understand this concept much better. Signal to noise ratio. So experimental design is a concept which decouples signal to noise. It separates signal and noise, and then helps us to maximize signal to noise ratio. That's the objective. So that can never be done without the implementation of the experimental design. So you can enjoy the music. The purpose was that we are unable to enjoy the music because there is accompanying noise. So you can decrease that noise and increase the signal by adopting the principles of experimental design. So that's the beauty of this. But depends what is signal to you. Now, this man who has come to the park to listen to the music because probably his spouse is not very fond of that, or his kids are not very fond of that music. So he's here to listen to the music as the signal. But the lady sitting on the bench along with, she has been here after quarreling with her spouse. So for them, this, for her, this music is a noise. So she is taking it otherwise. Depends What is signal for you? What is noise for you to break the monotony? In any case, in an experimental design, power of experimental design is very, very important. Now, in day-to-day life, we are teachers, young or old, young or senior, junior or senior. So we know every day we have to evaluate the examinees, the students, the pupils. And in judiciary too, you have to examine the accused. Maybe they are criminals or they are innocents. So there could be two kinds of errors. Innocent could be put behind bars, or criminal could be set free. If innocent could be put behind bars, this is called as type 1 error. If a criminal is set free, it's called as type 2 error. So power of a design is dependent on type 2 error. Type 1 error and type 2 error, they behave in a seesaw fashion. So if you tend to minimize type 1 error, type 2 error possibility increases. So normally type 1 error is fixed at, that's the possibility of letting an innocent put behind bar is more serious in judiciary as well as in experimental science. So we keep it at 5% or less. P is less than 0.05, P is less than 0.01, P is less than 0.001, and so on and so forth. 0.5, 5% or less. While type 2 error, we go beyond 20%. Minimum is 20%. Power is 1 minus type 2 error into 100. So, let's understand a little bit. Now this, I repeat, golf ball is stuck. Now where is the golf ball? Golf ball is here amidst the very well mowed grass. Now you are to spot as a golfer this ball. How likely you are to spot this ball depends on the length of the grass. For you, the ball is signal, grass length is noise. So if the signal is more, grass is less, then you are able to spot it. If it is otherwise, you are not. So a critical analysis of the same is over here. If the grass height is double than that of the ball diameter, sigma, in other words, signal to noise ratio is 1/2, 50%. There is probability of spotting that ball amongst the grass as 15%. But if they are equivalent, grass and ball are equivalent, the chances are 45%. If the grass is well mowed, the chances are, 1/2 of the diameter of the ball, the chances are 96% to spot that ball. Signal to noise ratio, experimental design, decides about the power of the design. So there could be two kinds of design: screening design, response surface designs. So time does not permit me to go into details. The manuscripts which I am going to provide to you will, help you out in due course of time. So these are the important design. I'll just name: factorial design, central composite design, box Bankan design, simplex design, optimal design, fractional factorial design, Taguchi design, Pluckett-Burman design. The former factorial composite, box Bankan, optimal, they are considered as the response surface designs, that's optimization design, while the later Taguchi, fractional factorial, Pluckett-Burman are used for screening designs. So in our laboratories, and to industry, I recommend central composite design for 2 factors. For 3 or more factors, box Bankan design. And when the mixtures are obtained, simplex design. And when screening is to be carried out, fractional factorial, Taguchi, or Pluckett-Burman design. So this is how they are diagrammatically represented. Time does not permit me to go into the nitty-gritty of or subtleties of the same. But you see, as the number of factors are increasing, number of runs, how are number of runs increasing? With 7 factors, 128. 128 runs. ये तो normal practice में हम नहीं करते. तो आप कह रहे हैं, you can question कि maximal information and minimal experimentation. This is no minimal experimentation. 128 runs because we can choose, a different kind of design or a fractional factorial design. A CCD, a central composite design, we are very fond of. Almost out of 410 publications which my team has got till date, almost 1/2 of the publications are QBD driven. And out of those QBD driven publications, almost 1/2 are CCD driven, or 40% are CCD driven, central composite design, where there are 4 factorial points which constitute the vertices and 5 central points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I repeat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are called as replicates at central point. And there are 4 axial points, at the star points, at the axis. So in total, 4 plus 4 plus 5, 13 runs, 13 experimental runs, 13 experimental studies for 2 factors. This studies goes on and on. Sir Ronald Fisher, who was the father of experimental designs, told that most useful designs are extremely simple. And if you look around in day-to-day life too, most experienced people, most learned people, most proficient scientists and researchers and useful leaders in any field are very humble, not pretentiously. They are humble from within, like Newton, like Archimedes, like Einstein, so like Fisher. So he told you should use simpler designs. I'll pass on my manuscripts which contain the advantages, disadvantages of various designs here, like this. And then you need to modelize or step the designs and control spaces. And then you need to find the optimal formulation. There are 2 important techniques in this. One is overlay plot. In graphical techniques, in mathematical, it's desirability function. Then you need to carry out validation using various diagnostic plots. I bypass. Then residuals. Residuals is observed minus predicted. You'll be plotting versus observed, and this should be not following any kind of pattern, and this should range in very close to the central line. If they shows any kind of pattern, something is wrong somewhere, something is fishy. So sometimes more than one regression models are adopted. Say this is a case of again a non-linear kind of regression, central composite design. So here is the point at the top is the target, and the point at the bottom is the starting point. So you start using linear model, and you fail. You don't reach that point, far away. You select the points on the linear model in between, and you again adopt linear model. Again, you fail to touch upon the red point. Then what you do is you reach that point from linear scale, like this. You touch upon this, and then you adopt non-linear approach. Wow, you reached over here. So if I have to reach Tirupati Balaji, I cannot reach directly. I'll have to reach at the airport and then catch a vehicle, reach at Mandir, using some conveyance, some bus, some car, some taxi. So 2-pronged approach. First order model, linear model, and then non-linear model. So this is how it works. And I'm reaching the culmination of my talk. So these are the spaces. I was talking about design space, design spaces within knowledge spaces within explorable space. So again, if we are talking about Tirupati Balaji, so within the state, it's Tirupati Balaji. Within that, in Tirupati Balaji, there is Anandacharya College, So explorable space is the entire state, and then knowledge space is Tirupati, and design space is the college, and within that college is the hall where this conference could be held physically. Now this is being held virtually. Okay? So design space and control space, and I bypass. So explorable space, within that knowledge space, design space, and control space. You can move within the design space, and you can remain restricted to control space. To make my point across a little bit, 30 seconds. So you have your own farmhouse, and you remain in house, of the farmhouse, which is control space. But once in a while, when during salubrious environment, on very fine day, sunny day, or rainy day, you take out some chairs and sit in the picturesque green pastures around that house, and nobody can question, because you are well within the precincts of your house. So you are well within the design space. You have come out of the control space, that's house, but you are well within the design space. But if you go to your neighbor's house, you have trespassed the boundary, you have crossed your limit. Similarly, you can remain within the control limit of your formulation, but your upper limit is within the design space. So you cannot go beyond the design space. If you go beyond design space into the knowledge space, the federal agencies may say, you have changed the formulation. You need to resubmit your dossier. So you have to use appropriate tools to search for design and control spaces, as this dental surgeon is trying to, search for. And fifth, and the final step is, you are to carry out all these studies which we have carried out so far in the industrial scales. And for that, there should be analogy between the lab scale and the commercial scale. The equipment which you use, at the lab scale and the pilot plant scale and the commercial scale should be analogous, should be, geometrically and kinematically similar. Then only, the results will be translatable. And you are to, schematically, try to reach at the control space from the design space, tightening of these operating space to this space, you reach around control space. Say, for example, you are earning 50,000 rupees and you are expending it at all, but suddenly you feel the need to save and contain yourself in less amount. So you start, in the first month, you tend to save 5,000 and work within 45,000. And next month, you say, let me cut down these expenditure as well. So you leave to live within the constraints of 40,000. A month of 6 months or so, to come out that I can manage with 55,000 rupees instead of 50,000. 15,000 is your saving. So 35,000 is your control space, while design space is 50,000. So you are to remain within control space, although you can go up to design space. So there could be 3 kinds of design space: lab scale, pilot scale, commercial scale. FDA wants you to prove your formulation at the commercial scale. How can you do so? You prove it at lab scale, pilot scale, and validate at commercial level scale. So when you start with, there is limited understanding. Knowledge space is small, and control space is bigger. Design space remains same. While at the end of the life cycle, the knowledge space is bigger because you have better knowledge now, and the control space is narrower because you can manage within narrower resources, while design space remains the same. So QTPP is the target. Formulation by design is the vehicle. and QTPP is within the design space. There are so many software to help you out. Design expert, I was talking about Minitab, I'm quite fond of, and it's very cost effective too. I've suggested to Dr. B. Suresh being part of, and Dr. Karvekar last time, being part of the committee to decide the syllabus of BPharm and Pharm. So that, you should extend this to Minitab as well, not only restricted to design expert, because Minitab is an effective and cost-effective software. Or you can go in for Jump. I do not know the cost part, but it's a very effective software. I think Dr. Murli Dhara is going to talk about Jump software, the nitty-gritty of the same, as for implementation of the QBD paradigms, maybe DOE or quality list management or factor screening, all these things. And here is the best formulation, and you feel like celebrating in a Punjabi style. Now, little point to pause. Pharma is in a worse position than it was in the last decade. Science is now almost dead, nicely confined to a solid coffin called the design space. Agni stored in 2011-12. That, we have been calling design space. Somewhere, the science is utterly lost. Is design space the only question arises, the only objective and outcome of QBD exercises? Probably not. It is the product and process understanding which is the ultimate. Design space is federal requirement, but more than that is product and process understanding, which will lead you through question-based review and lead you to launch a product of which you are understanding, and the patients will be able to benefit it. Any fool can know. The point is to understand. Einstein used to say. So to make my point across, there is a small clip. Neither I'm a protagonist of Kellogg's Heart to Heart nor of Group 1T. But the point I'm going to make across through these two TV ads is, in the first case, the lady understood her husband very, passionately and very astutely. So whatever he was about to do, like a samosa, putting an arm around his wife, and whatever the son is going to answer in response to the question of his mother, she's able to predict. How come they are able to predict so much, so quickly, so accurately? Because the wife understood her husband, the mother understood her son. So understanding is the key. Where there is understanding, there is predictability. If you know your product and process behavior well, your formulation would never go berserk. Where? That's what you need to talk to your juniors, your students, that you need to understand your product and process. That is the objective of QBD. If you are able to understand, there is some situation, there is, the operator not, operating in a predictable manner. There is an API or excipient which is not behaving in a particular manner. You can handle the situation well because you understand. And where there is understanding, there is predictability as well. So where there is understanding, there is predictability. I'm about to end, So, and prior knowledge, prior publications, prior patents, prior experience lead to prior understanding. Product understanding, how does it reveal? Product knowledge, drug release kinetics, in vitro and vivo correlations, pharmacokinetic simulation. Process understanding through process controls, process engineering, process scalability, real-time release testing, extensometry. For that process understanding, you need to collaborate with primarily a chemical engineer. That's why in industry, I keep recommending that a chemical engineer should be part of their team. So multivariate chemometric tools come to our help. I learned Dr. Asha Patel is going to talk about these. So API development, analytical development, formulation development, dissolution testing, manufacturing, in every aspect, QBD is today applicable, not merely on formulation development. And I'm so appreciative that Dr. Tinu Sharma is going to talk about analytical development. And, of course, formulation development, there are, besides me, there are so many other scientists who are going to talk about, but rest other aspects also are dealt with using QBD paradigms. Stance and stand matter a lot. The former stand should be looked into. Never. Pessimistic style will never help you in implementing QBD. It's a new paradigm. It's a changed paradigm. It's a total metamorphosis of the paradigm. There are so many quacks. I shared with Dr. Dwarka Nath Reddy that there are so many quacks over here. They do not know. They just read and throw away. But QBD needs understanding. How can you understand about product and process using QBD unless you understand QBD, unless you implement? Then only you can make others understand. That's very, very important. So chalta hai attitude nahi chahiye, chalna hai attitude chahiye. Jugaad technology nahi chahiye as it is there. Juran technology chahiye. Together everyone achieves more. I'm closing, and so team effort together, and this team would win over. And there are so many cautions, but the organizers are reminding me of the time limits. Extrapolation to areas beyond the limit is not desirable. Now, if the whole world is at your back, why are we still in denial? We need to act now. That's what I keep prompting industry. Time and tide spare none. We have to make best use of this generic wave. And here are some publications and, H-index, etc. And these are the publications highly sought after. I'll pass it on to Dr. Dwarkanath Reddy and Dr. Swarnalita Reddy. And these are some of the books which have come up from our team, some technology transfers, and the industries with which we have been working with, as consultant, primarily to guide them on QBD guidelines. Here is the guy from Statis, the #1 software in the company, #1 across the world, US, hot selling product, design expert, and the only, group across the world, I'm talking, which is privileged to be adorned with the free gift of the software, not only to me, it's given freely for lifetime. Every new version is given to me for lifetime. But to 10 of my students, they tend to provide free software. My 10 single user licenses are being provided since 2002 till date, free of cost. And each software is costing nearly 50,000 rupees, and premier software is costing nearly 3 lakhs rupees. And they are providing greatest only to me, only to our group. I do not know to any other agencies, they have provided since then. But till then, it was exclusively to our group. And here are some US FDA reviewers, Dr. Lane Christensen, Dr. Vilayat Saeed, Dr. Albinus D'Souza, with me and Dr. Saranjit Singh from Naipur. And here is Dr. Ijaz Hussain. Probably he's an Indian settled in US. He was in FDA and and we were together in one of the discussions. Here is, the CPHI QBD Excellence Award being given to me. It is, Select Biosciences Best Scientist Award given to me on QBD. Here is the Studies QBD Excellence Award and other some awards. Here are my students. Dr. Rishi Kapil, Dr. Kesar Raza being awarded with American Association of Pharmaceutical Sciences QBD Excellence Award worth $1,000 and the trophy. In 2012 and 2013, 2 consecutive years. That speaks volume of His grace and your wishes and our work. Dr. Sarvar Beg, being given the best young scientist award by Renbexi, and Dr. Rajneet Kaur Khurana by Select Biosciences. And very recently, 2019, where Dr. Karvekar was also there, they awarded me with the best QBD scientist award, Global QBD Scientist Award in China, 2019. Our UIPS is ranking always either second or third, but in terms of research promotion, we are always number 1 across the country, thanks to our concerted work, which this department is taking place. When I was in chair, 2016, it's been. And our mentor whom we lost last year in March 2020, late Professor Kishan Singh Ji, the only Padma Shri awardee in pharmaceutical sciences, only Padma Shri awarded, who discovered one molecule, canpidonium bromide. Here he is being awarded with Padma Shri. So my last message: attitude determines altitude. Hence, we need to transform our journey of 1,000 miles has to start with a single leap, and we need to fly at the winged pace and stand apart in the world of mediocres and stand prominently on the world map. Jai Hind. This is my group, along with Dr. Katare, Professor Katare of this department, who is working as collaborator. Thank you so much. This is the green campus where I live, that's Punjab University. Thank you so much for your patient listening. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for delivering commendable talk on quality by design and formulation by design, and throwing light on importance of optimization techniques, demonstrating the advantage of DOE over OFAT with case studies, and making the topic more interesting by funny and thought-provoking visuals, and enlightening the participants with the importance of control strategy through which the continuous improvement is possible. Thank you, sir. Thank you once again for delivering such a commendable talk.
Thank you for your patience and endurance. Yeah, right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you once again for the most enlightening and
if there are any
excellent
questions,
presentation.
please pass it on to me through Dr. Reddy. So I'll try to answer them at my earliest convenience, and I'll pass on, if they're interested, you with the valued articles which have been published in the journals. Thank you so much. God bless. Best of luck.
Namaste, sir. Thank you, sir.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Namaste, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Karvekar.
Dr. Boob, sir, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed, so much information you gave, the inner things, what which we do not know much about that, but still so much interesting, to go through your lecture. Very nice, sir. Very, very nice. We'll meet, sir.
Yes.
Thank
Sir
you.
has given everything. Sir delivered everything of QBD within that 2 hours.
We can talk on and on and on.
Yes, sir.
Normally, we require 2 days of talking for industry. But of course, there are other speakers, who would be filling the gap.
Yes.
All
Yes,
the best.
sir.
All the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you once again. I thank Professor Bhupinder Singh Bhup, sir, with excellent presentation. Also Karvekar, sir, and Suresh Babu, sir, and for adorning the occasion and made this event more memorable. Thank you. Thank you once again, sir. As a token of appreciation from Annamacharya College of Pharmacy, Bhupinder Singh, sir, please accept the certificate from our team.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I greatly value.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Dear delegates, a small thing. So afternoon session commences exactly at 2 o'clock. An excellent talk by LD Patel, sir. I request all the delegates to be in time and hope the morning session was really truly memorable.
My regards to Dr. L.D. Patel and best wishes, and to other speakers, who are to follow. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Right, and providing me opportunity to talk to the younger faculty.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, thank you very much, sir.